having feelings I never felt in my life. It's hard to explain what I'm going through is new. I'm good looking, clean up well, but without this fine young little lady, I'm still in hell. She's brown skinned, Eritrean. Love every second of the time that we spend. We're good friends, there's no need to pretend. The way she walks and moves her hips, those smooth curves, I just love to kiss. It's Sunday morning, make her breakfast in bed, bring her a latte and chill up in the spread, and manifest all the thoughts in my head. The comforter of my life. You know what? She may not know it. I want her to be my wife. It was my fondest wish to stay the night. She's doing fine on her own, about to buy a home. Me, I'm working out some shit, but I've grown. I'm working hard to keep things right. Focus on my music so we can have a life outside of the system and the bright lights. She feeds me juice and curry when I'm hungry. Caress me on my body, it feels lovely. A lot of pain that I took on in my life. I need you to make it right. Need you to make it right. The feelings I'm feeling, it's real in my life. I know you're something special, want you to be my wife. All I need to know is will you treat me right. I wanna make love tonight. The feelings I'm feeling, it's real in my life. I know you're something special, want you to be my wife. All I need to know is will you treat me right. I wanna make love tonight. Brown eyes, caramel skin, beautiful face, where do I begin? Your hips, they keep making me excited. Your breasts, just how I like it. If you're the key to my life, then will you be there for me? All I'm asking is will you trust in me? It's complicated, but I wanna do it right. If we keep true to the love, we can make life. Your destiny is to be with me. I'm waiting for you to be one with me. Your soulmate, I would do anything for you. Baby girl, it's you I adore. Word life, you are my life. I won't deal with nothing that's strife. We're gonna spend all our time together, me and you, girl, forever. The feelings I'm feeling, it's real in my life. I know you're something special, want you to be my wife. All I need to know is will you treat me right. I wanna make love tonight. The feelings I'm feeling, it's real in my life. I know you're something special, want you to be my wife. All I need to know is will you treat me right. I wanna make love tonight. Love tonight. They want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued when the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score.
Check
the
one,
diamonds
check
in the
one,
morning,
check
you know
one.
they want more, but they wanna keep the low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers.
All right, y'all. It is Sunday, the 5th April, 0909 Central European Time. That makes it 0309 East Coast, America. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, on this bizarre ride. I don't know how many of you all remember the Far Side, the rap group, the Far Side from Oakland, California. At one point, they was like the hottest shit around, but they got a dope ass LP, and their first LP is called The Bizarre Ride, and that shit is crazy. But you know, this reality with Trump is a bizarre goddamn ride. And you know, if we can get past it, which there's no guarantee, but if we can get past it, it will indeed be like a bizarre ride. The only difference with this is a lot of people died, a lot of people suffered for no real reason at all, just for the sake of pretty much some assholes. We in the U.S. we have some assholes. Like, let's keep it real. We got some assholes, and you know, because I mean, I could get deep with it, and you know, we could call them fascist, we could call them racist, we could call them bigots, misogynists. We can say all these terms that go over a lot of uneducated people's brains. Like, you know, you got to actually know what those words mean in a practical way, see in the history of the country, and acknowledge that they exist before you can really understand how they work. But and it takes an asshole to not really understand how these things work in 2026. I mean, you really have to be an asshole, especially if you come from the richest country on earth. Now, the most powerful country that ever exists, you have to be an asshole at this point. But I mean, we damn near built the goddamn UN. You know what I'm saying? And now we're reneging on the UN. We don't even want to know what any UN charters are. You know, listen, the CERD is what was it called? Damn, and I'm sorry because I've had to step out of like human rights a little bit myself, but the Convention for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination, right? The CERD. That's what it's called. That was championed by, you know, the U.S. We funded a lot of that. We put a lot of money into the UN. I mean, not us alone, but we did. And we signed these conventions. We signed these agreements. And to have a population of people that doesn't really take the time to even read the conventions or invest themselves in the history of their own country, it's pathetic, especially when you're the richest country on earth, the most powerful to ever exist. But I want to tell everyone who's not American, there is a difference with our country and most other people's country in the West. Our country really has had some billionaires that don't give a fuck if people are living in squalor and poverty without education, not having equal access to education. They don't care, man. We literally have people that are really uneducated, barely can read. I mean, they can read, but it's not comprehending a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And you have to understand that if you're from another Western country outside of the U.S., please try to understand that is what extreme forms of capitalism brings. It brings poverty. Extreme forms. That's when there's no social justice. When there's no social safety net there. When, you know, and the social justice is childcare, health care, you know, education, access to education, you know, fair housing, decent, you know, these kind of protections, right? At least if you have all this wealth, you know, if your family helped contribute to all this wealth, then why aren't you benefiting from all this wealth in the United States of America? But we haven't. As American citizens, we haven't, man. We've had a serious a lack of class struggle in the U.S. You know, we had racism, but racism kind of, you know, it got dealt with. Misogyny pulled up the rear. Misogyny didn't really get dealt with. A lot of other isms didn't really get dealt with, and racism didn't get dealt with because the thing about racism in the United States that makes it very unique is the particular form of racism, anti-black racism, is what and what is what funded the Industrial Revolution in the United States. It literally was the manpower that helped people, gain wealth to where they could step into the next level, the Industrial Revolution. Like, seriously, I'm just saying that. And so racism, yeah, you let people out of chains. Yeah, there was freedom with Jim Crow, with Klansmen chasing you around, threatening you, telling you all the time in your family, don't you think you better than me? Don't you think you better than us? You know what I mean? Which is insane, because you one day off the plantation and people already are scared that you think you're better than them. That shows you a lot about the psychology. We dealing with a lot of poor white people too in America. Not all white people owned slaves, yo. Not all white people had it good. Some of them were just broke as fuck also and had to work on the plantations. Yeah, sure, they got paid. They got to enjoy a little bit of their money, but they were in fear that they would be next. They're like, nigga, don't you think you're better than us? It's like, what the fuck? But this is the America. I'm just saying, Western people understand that this is what our country is like. So forgive us if we're fucking ignorant and arrogant about our shit. Please forgive us. We don't know all the time what we do. And right now, the ignorant, arrogant party of the United States is what runs shit. And not to say that the Democratic Party has done its job. Let's say that, because the job ain't complete. It's not done until the job's complete, and the job is not complete at all. But I'm not hating on Dems. They do a hell of a lot more for people than Republicans in this modern age ever fucking thought about doing. I mean, let's keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Again, Republicans in this modern age, their whole shit has always been about, oh my God, you let the Negroes free. They're going to take everything. It's like, goddamn, they hated Martin Luther King. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. Can you imagine hating a preacher that believes in God and treating you just and willing to pray for you and call you brother, even though you're ignorant as fuck and bigoted? Yeah, they hated Martin Luther King for that. You know what I'm saying? So in this modern times, it's the 40s of whenever this shift changed in the parties and shit, the Republican Party ain't been shit. You know what I'm saying? So having said that, we have a lot of aspects to racism that connect with class, with the class system. Misogyny connects with the class system. All these things connect with a lot of these forms of discrimination connect directly to the class system. But we've never had the class struggle dealt with in the U.S. You see what I mean? So we have remnants of all this shit kind of hanging around. So forgive us. Yeah, we're fucked up. And people know what it is. If you really want to dissect it, you see it for what it is. It's a danger to you too, by the way. Understand that. This ignorant ass party is a danger. This ignorant ass party threatened Greenland, a country who has never lifted one finger to harm any fucking American. It threatened its own ally, Canada, a country who's never done one thing to lift a finger to hurt one American. They threaten our motherfucking, we haven't had an issue with Mexico since the Spanish War, and now they ain't part of Spain anymore, okay? They had to fight Spain to be like, get the fuck out, Spain. We tired of doing what you telling us to do. And then they became Mexico, So, their own country. So we haven't had any issues with Mexico, any wars and nothing like that. They're not trying to kill us. They're not, we have issues of class, by the way, but just keep in mind, our country, we may have had the power, but we haven't always done right with it. And this is a perfect example of it. We're literally showing our ass right now with Donald Trump, but having said that, I know I went off on a rant. Having said that, if we get past this, and there's no guarantee we will, but if we do get past this, we will be seeing this as one of the most bizarrest rides that the United States has gone through. And I'm going to promise you, anybody that had anything to do with this bizarre ass ride, with setting it up behind the scenes, is going to pay. Because Americans do not enjoy this bizarre ass ride. They're going to be looking for vengeance. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You could go on this bizarre ride, but there will be some vengeance. Don't sleep. Anyone who helped put Trump into power knew that he was up to some evil shit. Knew what, you know what I'm saying? Which there are people, you're going to be in trouble, man. You're going to be in trouble. So anybody, I'm not going to name any names, right? Foreign countries or whatever. Anyone that helped use that algorithm to get Trump elected, motherfucker, your ass is going to get some. But, and then first we're going to repair things with our allies too. Of course, hopefully our allies understand, that, this can happen, and we were doing our best to make sure this type of shit doesn't happen again. But, having said that, Trump's house, his house of cards is falling. It's burning. Putin's house, it's the house Putin built. The Trump administration is the house Putin built, basically. And Epstein built the house of Epstein, the Epstein administration, the Putin Epstein, and people always say Netanyahu. Yeah, I don't really give him, maybe. Yeah. Epstein was working with both of them, I guess. So maybe throw Netanyahu in there. The house that Netanyahu built is the Trump house. I mean, that too. This shit is crashing down. And Americans don't like what they're seeing. They don't like what they're seeing. We don't like it. You know what I mean? And so some things are going to have to change. But until then, let's enjoy the beginning of this motherfucking house falling. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it, because these people deserve every piece of shit that they're going to get. They deserve all of it. Pam Bondi deserves to go to jail and be thrown under the bus. And any corruption, any money that she's earned from being a corrupt ass, a corrupt ass bigot, should be taken from her. It should be seized, along with Hegseth, anybody else, Trump, his family members, all of that shit. Take it all. It's all corruption. You know what I mean? It's all against the Constitution of the United States of America. Okay, it's all criminal, maybe criminal to the highest order. So it's hard to get rich people's schemes and get them to come to justice when they got all that power. You know what I mean? In a capitalistic society, and an extremist capitalistic society that has no value for social justice, no value for social safety nets for its citizens. That kind of country, it's hard to get these people. But I think they may have just done something to make sure that is going to happen, because Americans are not happy at all. And I'm going to tell you, if your life has been affected by Trump, if you lost, anything because of him, your health care, your home, your savings, any of that stuff, I don't blame you for wanting vengeance. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame you for wanting vengeance. You see what I mean? And I'm not saying do any type of weird terrorist shit. I'm talking about collectively. The society has to get some get back. And who do we get back with? You know what I mean? How do we get it? Democrats first is the voting. Vote these people the fuck out, right? Vote any congressional member and any senator out that doesn't stand behind the American people first, and throw Trump under the bus, like straight up, because they're aiding and abetting all this criminality. All of it went on because they allow it to go on, you see. And got to get rid of them. Supreme Court justices, there are some corrupt ones that they have admitted that they took money. They broke their oath. Yeah, that's wrong. Corruption is real. And there's probably loads of other corruption that just hadn't even been discovered, because, I guess when you get a little bit of power, you think you're unstoppable. You think justice will never come. You see what I mean? And I can understand that. I understand how it works. Power is corruptive. It's corruptive. You stay there a little too long. You start thinking this is how it goes. Everybody's doing it, so I can get away with it too. And that is what it is. But listen, American people, you either going to grow some balls or you're going to remain bitches. You know what I mean? Because you are the bitches of the West. I'm just going to say it straight up. You let people fuck you over. You are the people in the West that let your members, political members of Congress, Senate, White House, Supreme Court, rich billionaires all colluding together, you are the very people that allow it. You're the bitches of the West. I'm just telling you, and it has nothing to do with your color. White, black, whatever, you're still a bitch. Okay? You're equally bitches, because you don't get shit out of your fucking taxes. Yes, you are a goddamn whole fool. And you deserve to be told. None of you are better than each other. You all... Sometimes I just wonder, how do you get so many broke asses that love living in broke assness and pay taxes for it? And, when they see everyone else in the Western countries are living their life, having a fair opportunity at life, man, and Americans got the nerve to have their chest stuck out like there's something to be fucking proud of. That is embarrassing. That is fucking embarrassing. Completely, totally, utterly embarrassing. You are the bitches of the West. I'm just telling you, man. If you don't know it, the joke is on you. The joke is on you. In the most powerful country on earth, you're not supposed to have a fucking gun problem. You're not supposed to have schools being shot up every fucking where. You're not supposed to have homeless people every fucking where. Okay? You're not supposed to have people in debt just because they went all their fucking lives, just because they dared have a goddamn education. Are you out of your fucking mind? That's not normal. That's not normal. And if you think it's normal, you should get slapped in the fucking face. Anyway, I'm serious, man. I don't have to have patience for that dumb shit. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I can deal with you if you know you got fucked, all right? But if you out there sticking your chest out like, hey, man, this is America. We the best. We got it best. Oh, hell fucking no. You got to get way the fuck away from me, man. I'm not even trying to deal with you. You get no time from me. You get no respect from me. Zero in real fucking life. None. Okay? None. You're a joke. You a goddamn fool. And I'll be damned if I'm not going to talk to you like you're a fucking fool. I'll be damned if I take you serious at all. You're jokes. You're total fucking jokes. And everyone's laughing at you. Everyone is laughing at you. And it's an embarrassment. Your president is a piece of shit. He is delusional, shitting in his pants. Okay, can barely fucking stand up. And it's going down now. It took too long, but it's going down now because now he's stabbing Pam Bondi in the back. Yeah, fuck Pam Bondi. Yeah, he's about to get rid of all of them because they're so stupid. They're so stupid. This is how their character works. They actually would carry water for this sick bastard. They deserve to be shitted on by Trump. I'm going to enjoy it. Yay, Trump, you fired that bitch. Ha ha. Yeah, Pam Bondi has it feel, you stupid ass. Ha ha. Who's next? Pete Hegseth? I'm going to laugh too. Fuck Pete Hegseth. You and anybody who talks some shit about Obama, fuck you too, all right? So, goddamn. And Kamala Harris, also, you are some jokes. You are some fucking jokes. Anyway, I'm not saying you can't complain a little bit. I'm just saying be reasonable now. Be realistic and reasonable because your champion, Trump, best friend, is the most prolific pedophile sex trafficker in the United States of America, died. Okay, somehow, mysteriously. Okay, so you keep disgusting company. Disgusting. You should be ashamed. And when this is all over, it will be pretty much known, everyone pretty much know that it's going to be some pictures out of Trump with little boys from the 80s, 90s. Probably. I'll put my money on it. Probably. And then you're going to look even stupid because we're going to grill you. We're going to remind you of it. That's why you better not show your goddamn face when you're in my chat talking about Trump. You better hide your goddamn face. You know, look at that. trolls in the chat, they hiding their face too. Ain't got one face to show. No real face, no nothing, because they know they full of shit. They don't stand on anything. You know what I'm saying? Out in the real world, they be like pretending like they didn't support Trump. Now, that's how these little fake ass trolls are and shit. They only pretend like they support Trump on the net. You know what I'm saying? But in real life, they be like, shh, no, man. Fuck Trump, man. Fuck Trump. Yeah, okay, sure. But in any case, the rest of the world is surviving without your ass. You know? And the rest of the world is saying, anybody who voted for Trump, fuck you. We ain't doing what Trump said. You can do what Trump saying, you bitch. Okay? So, you know what I'm saying? That's what everyone outside of the U.S. is saying is, damn, you dumbass Americans are fucked up. They're looking at you and saying, at least you could want some health care. Are you too stupid to even want fucking health care for your own people? Are you that bad? Damn, if you don't even like your own people, no one can trust you. Who trusts a government that doesn't like its own people? Who trusts the people that's against their own people? You'll be against anybody. So, and we know that, you know what I'm saying? You can't keep no company. It's like, for real. And don't you go off to the rest of the Western world talking about, oh, this is who I identify with. No, you don't. Because the rest of the Western world has education and education for all, no matter how much money you have, has nothing to do with money. And healthcare for all, no matter how much money you have, it has nothing to do with money. So you don't have shit in connection with these people. Nothing. Your values are totally fucking different. No connection at all. Okay? And you're about to be alone in that. Here we go. But in any case, let's hear a little bit about the news, the legacy media, and also from a few podcasters, some interesting things. By the way, Trump stole to his family. Something like that. I don't know. Something out now talking about $2.2 trillion they stole from these dumbass goddamn MAGA people. You know what I mean? Like, damn. By the way, anyone who supports Trump, I want you to hop up. I want you to show your photograph, your picture. Okay? So I'm going to put the link in the chat. For the hop up thing that you can do it on Discord. I don't want to hear no shit about, I don't have Discord on my phone. Nah, you on the internet, bitch. You got Discord. Load it on your phone now. And I dare you to hop up. I dare you to hop up with your fucking video. I want to see your face while you talk this shit. Because I got no respect for you. But I'm willing to just know if you're real people. Okay, or if you just a bitch and too goddamn scared, you know, I suspect most of you are. So here we go. And if you're not, I'm going to embarrass your ass anyway, just in pure logic. I'll respect you with the language though when you hop up, but I'm going to embarrass you with your logic. So here we go. Let's see here. Jim Jordan, exactly. Jim Jordan is a stanky ass. Let me see here. Here goes the link. To hop up. It's the Discord link. Anybody want to hop up? Now, I'm going to tell you, just, you know, I'm not going to disrespect anybody when they hop up and they have something to speak, because I want to hear. If you show your face and you speak and you tell the truth about who you are with your opinion, like I do, I'll respect you. Anything less? Nah, fuck you. You don't deserve any respect. Okay? Anybody can get on the Twitter fingers and shit. Yeah, I support Trump. Yeah, anybody can do that. Show your face, goddammit, and then walk down the street after. Okay, let people collect your name. Okay, we want to know who the actual real people are and shit. Yeah, you got to keep it petty. You know, can't play any games about this. People have been killed. American soldiers have died. Americans have died. Because of this president. You see what I mean? Loads of people have died because of this man, and they had no care whatsoever. Didn't show one concern, one care, inhuman treatment. You know, fuck that. Let's see here.
That come as the U.S. appears poised to intensify strikes, and the Pentagon is weighing a potential ground invasion in Iran. In a post, Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell framed General George's firing as a retirement, effective immediately. A U.S. official told CNN that senior Army leadership had been caught off guard. Quote, "It doesn't feel like a very thought out decision," unquote. Now, I have been personally covering General Randy George's career for about 15 years. I wrote a book in 2012 about the ill-fated combat outpost Keating, which had been in 2006 placed in a dangerous...
Hey, Tom, I see you, man. Take care of yourself. I see you. I'm reading the messages. I appreciate you.
Position.
Everybody else in the chat, what's up? Good morning to you. Yeah, good morning and good night to you at the same time. With
Afghanistan. Then Colonel Randy George and his Lieutenant Colonel Brad Brown tried to shut down that outpost in 2008 because of the precarious position it was in, although their warnings were not heeded with any urgency. And then Cop Keating was devastatingly attacked in 2009. Those who know General Randy George consider him to be well-respected, smart, strategic, someone who acts with the best interests of his service members and the United States at the top of his mind. His dismissal, along with that of Chief of Chaplains Major General William Green Jr., and Commander of Army Transfer.
So Hegseth, he's got rid of more generals. Hegseth really has no experience, but he's getting rid of top generals. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you know, again, I don't know. You don't have to agree with me, but my brain tells me this is an attack on the United States of America. Like, I've been saying this for a minute, a real attack, which is why I'm speaking the way I'm speaking, because if I didn't believe it was a real attack on the United States of America from the beginning, I wouldn't even be speaking this way. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people that really believe this has always been an attack, a soft coup, not of a president, but of a nation. You see what I'm saying? A soft attack. So just keep that in mind. When you think about, damn, why does this guy keep firing generals? Why is he getting rid of? Yeah, it's a lot of top people. He's just firing them, obviously because they don't agree with him, right? So if you don't agree with Putin, you're going to get fired. That's basically what the deal is. If you don't want to work for Putin in China, you're going to get fired. That's the deal. You're not allowed to have a country anymore, because Trump is the president and he's selling out the United States of America. That's my opinion, though. You know, can I prove it 100%? Nah, who gives a fuck? I don't need to prove it. That's my opinion. You don't like it? Fuck you.
Transformation and Training Command General David Hodney are just the latest in a string of abrupt firings that Hegseth has carried out inside the Pentagon since he took office. Hegseth has fired more than a dozen senior military officers over the last year. In fact, he's almost completely remade the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Just 2 officials remain from before President Trump took office. Marine Corps Commandant.
I'm opening up the Discord for anybody that's a Trump supporter that wants to hop up and show their face. I want to see who you are. I want to know where you live. I want to know who you are. Like, don't hide yourself.
General Eric Smith and Chief of Space Operations General B. Chance Saltzman. Now, you might have noticed if you look at that photo, Hegseth's version of the Joint Chiefs, those are entirely white men, despite the fact that as of 2024, nearly 33% of active duty service members are of color and nearly 18% are women. Hegseth made it quite clear that that type of representation in the top ranks does not matter to him.
This is the real me, and this is an AI replacement.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, African Americans are a minority in the U.S. What, 13, 14%? So we're underrepresented in everything anyway. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. We're barely, I mean, you know, it's just so interesting how just a few, it hurts somebody's eyes, you know, in the very country where everybody knows African Americans have fought in every war, have sacrificed for the country in ways that most people would never sacrifice for their own kids. You see what I'm saying? Or anyone else. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's just keep it real, which is why I'm saying this, because if you don't really give a fuck about African Americans in the United States of America, you don't give a fuck about America. OK, like, who you think was going to work on them goddamn plantations for free? Do you think that was funny? You think it was nice for my father to have to be born in a segregated city? You think that was nice? No, it wasn't nice. But people dealt with it. You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't nice. You see what I mean? And if you didn't have to go through it, you should think twice about how you feel about African Americans. I'm not saying we're the only people you should think about. We should think about everybody, even white Americans, Irish Americans, Italian Americans, Jewish Americans, whatever, German Americans. We should all think about each other realistically. You know, we should all be kind to each other. All of us. There's no reason to not be kind to each other. The only reason to not be kind to each other is because something is fucked up in your brain and you're a fucked up person and you fuck up the country. Okay? Because you have to be insane to hate the people that sacrifice most. You have to fucking be insane because you are next on the menu if you don't respect that sacrifice. And Pete Hegseth is one of those people, you know? So fuck Pete Hegseth too. Pete Hegseth, fuck you, man. You ain't shit, boy. Pete Hegseth ain't shit. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
The era of DEI is gone at the Defense Department, and we need the best and brightest. Physical standards must be.
So we got to start getting rid of his ass. He's the real DEI. Okay, just hiding behind that phrase and shit. You know what I mean? Like we don't know, man. You ain't even got the experience, motherfucker. How did you get the job? Okay, how did you telling me you got this job because you worked for it, Pete Hegseth? He's busy in there firing everyone who worked harder than him. And he's posing. He thinks just because he can say DEI that means he worked hard. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole trick, the magic trick. It's like, let me do the little magic trick. I say DEI over here and you won't notice I didn't work for anything either. The DEI guys hunting down DEI people and shit. You know what I'm saying? The ultimate DEI. You know what I'm saying? The man who never, the man who's never been held back by any form of discrimination in his fucking life. The honcho man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He's firing women. He's firing women. He's firing women. This fool is an utter fuck up. He doesn't realize women could not own property. Women could not own property. Women could not vote. And this motherfucker, I can understand if it was a woman walking around talking about DEI, but it's not. It's the last motherfucker that should be talking about special treatment. You know what I'm saying? Under the law. The United States has treated these kind of people and always have given them special fucking treatment under the guise of racism. That's really what it is. No need to lie about it. What the fuck? Even white people know this. Decent white people know the history of the United States of America. What the fuck do you think was going on in the country? You think the Klan was hunting white boys? You know what I'm saying? Was the Klan hunting? Was the government like this? Did they pass laws to keep Pete Hegseth's ass out of government? You know what I'm saying? Pete Hegseth been discriminated against, y'all. You know what I'm saying? People was outside his house burning crosses and shit, telling his daddy, you better not come out of the house. Who you think? You think you're better than us? Nigga. Wigger. You think you're better than us? Wigger. They were terrorizing his community. The Negroes didn't like it. So they marched and destroyed the whole town, burned it down. People like Pete Hegseth's granddaddy built the first bank. I built the first bank in the town, built the first grocery store, made the first town for people like me. And then the Negroes came and burned it all down. Never happened. Never happened. You see what I'm saying? This motherfucker, man. God, you would think I mean, I'm starting to think he's a woman or he's actually black the way he talks and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's like, people getting treated unfair. You're being prejudiced against us. I'm starting to think he's gay. I'm starting to think he's experienced homophobia before or some shit. Like, what's his goddamn, what's he so angry about? The injustice here and injustice there? Yeah, okay. Mr. Justice.
Gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent.
Delvito, what's up? Devil Doll, yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
If not, it is what it is. We're reviving the warrior ethos. We're eliminating
the warrior ethos. Okay.
the distraction.
Why doesn't Pete Hegseth put on a uniform and take his ass over there to Iran and save Israel, save the world? Why isn't he the first? He can still do it. He can still do it. Yeah. If people like me, my age, 55, are sitting up here thinking about maybe I might have to re-enlist or something. Maybe I might have to re-enlist over this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? If this shit in Ukraine is not going to get resolved, if Russia is going to keep fucking around over here in the Baltic Sea, you see what I mean? I will fucking enlist. But will Pete Hegseth take his ass to Iran? Nope. He's going to leave that up to everybody else to do while he sits up here on the stage and talk about the warrior ethos, Yeah, sure. So you could have the warrior ethos from the podium and shit, but you ain't going to take your ass on the front line and join those people when they have to go in there. You know what I mean? Because he's a fucking coward.
And the debris. No more DEI.
No more DEI. No more DEI. Pete Hegseth's biggest problem is not the Iranians. It's America and DEI. It's the Americans. They want equal justice, man. They want to be acknowledged for what America really is. That's the problem. So he's fighting every war. It's not only the Iranians he hates.
Two of the first leaders Hegseth let go were former Joint Chiefs Chair General C.Q. Brown, the second black officer to hold that post, and Chief of Naval Operations Lisa Franchetti, the first woman to lead the U.S. Navy.
I know why they got rid of him. I think he was the head of Africa Command. They got rid of his ass because they were like, nah, man, then we don't trust him. He's a black guy. He might favor Africans. That's really what they were thinking, even though that's not the case, because just because you have a color or something doesn't make you a good person. There are dictators. There are characters on this earth, and dictators can take many shapes and forms. They can look different. You see what I'm saying? So this guy, Pete Hegseth and them, they just are so twisted in their head. They don't really understand what this shit is all about. You see what I mean? It's just ridiculous. It's not documented. There's nothing there to that. But they saw it that way because they're bigots.
Just last week, the New York Times reported that in an extraordinarily rare move, Hegseth was actively blocking the promotions of 4 Army officers. Officials saying 2 of the officers are black, 2 of them are women. Parnell defended the promotion process to the New York Times as apolitical and unbiased, unquote. The New York Times reports that Army Secretary Dan Driscoll repeatedly refused to let Hegseth strike those officers' names from the promotion list. Officials told the Times that Driscoll took heat from Hegseth's chief of staff, the controversial Ricky Berea, for promoting Major General Antoinette Gant to command the military district of Washington. The Times reporting, quote, Mr. Berea told Mr. Driscoll that President Trump would not want to stand next to a black female officer at military events.
This is what you got. I see you, Rafika. Yeah, V in the chat. Did y'all see the new Iran rap AI? No, I haven't seen it yet. But you're a mod, so put it in the chat. Let me check it out. I think you should be able to do that. Sorry. If not, put the title of the video in the chat, and I will search it out. But look, can you see how petty this is? Can you see how petty this is? Look, you got in life, the worst thing you can be is a poor sport. That's the worst thing you can be. A person that doesn't want to compete fairly. That's whack. You don't get respect from people when you're not trying to be fair. Nobody's going to give you respect that way. You see what I mean? And people shouldn't respect you. If you don't treat people equal, right, they should not respect you, because that is the basis for understanding, for common understanding on earth with all people. No people want to be treated, want to be mistreated. Is it right for a black person to treat a white person unfairly? Right? No. Is it right for any person to treat another person unfairly at work, in a neighborly way, in your community? No, it's not. It's just not. Nobody should be doing that. That's actually called antisocial behavior. It's a problem. You see what I'm saying? It's not cool. It doesn't change history, but it changed today and now in the present. And you deserve to have a healthy present also. You see what I mean? A present that everyone lives in, not in the past. But people like Pete Hegseth, they make you live in the past because they're repeating the same fucking mistakes. You see what I'm saying? Time and time again, people say, look, let's make things fair and equal for everybody. And bitch asses like Pete Hegseth with their chest all stuck out because they're bigots. They don't even want Americans every American having an education. That's how pathetic and weak and spineless of a character Pete Hegseth is. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't even want every American, which could easily have it, to have health care. Every elderly person to have access to health care. He's such a slime ball. He doesn't even want it. That's how unfair and unequal these people are. They don't even try to set the slate straight. They don't even try it with what they can do. You know, even if you don't do reparations, you could still do right now correctly. You see what I mean? You try doing right now correctly. You know, just in a little bit of what power you might have. And I'm talking to all American citizens. You see what I mean? All American citizens. Because you voted for Trump, who picked a loser like him. And you resonated. It resonated. That bigotry resonated with you somehow, some way. It doesn't matter what your color is. If you're black, if you're white, if you're Latino, if you're anything Asian. If you voted for Trump, it's because somewhere inside of you, you have some bigotry, something there, something stupid inside of your brain. My family did it all by themselves. Why can't you? Hello? Because this is the United States of America, and that's not how the country was built. The country was not built on your grandparents did it all by themselves. Nobody does it all by themselves in a country that was founded on fucking slavery. Nobody. Okay. And on top of it, even if you remove slavery in any real society, no one does it all by themselves. You're all a reflection of everyone. The whole society contributes. The whole society contributes. Unless you're an arrogant piece of shit and you think you're better than other people, which a lot of Americans think. They walk around saying, my granddaddy did it all by himself. What stupidity. It's easy to say that in the wealthiest country on earth. Very, very fucked up. Very stupid. You see what I mean? Wrong. You live in a community of people. You live in a commune of people. Anytime people don't want you to exist, they can solve that problem. They can take it from you. A criminal can come to your home and take what your granddaddy worked for and take his fucking life if you don't act right. Like straight up. See, that's the reality of it. So it behooves people to want to treat each other well. It behooves people to want to have a society where everyone has a fair opportunity, a fair chance at making a life for themselves. It behooves people to want everyone not being desperate. That keeps you safe. That keeps you safe. As long as there's inequality, you're not safe. You're just living in an illusion. And you deserve to have that illusion shattered. Like, straight up. Somebody said life isn't fair, buddy. Fuck you, bitch. Okay? I know it. That's what I just said, you stupid fuck. I said rapid response, you stupid fuck. I said it behooves you to make it that way, you stupid jackass. I didn't say it was fair. I said it's not fair, you stupid jackass. Now hop your ass up on the stream. Show me your face if you're not a jackass, if you're not scared. Okay? Let's beg for free stuff. Here come the dump. What's free? What are you talking about? Guess what is free? Common decency is free. Treating people equally is free. It's free to do that. It doesn't cost money to do that. But the only people that don't want to do it are cowards. People that can't compete fairly. See, that's what discrimination is about. You are scared to compete fairly because you don't believe you can. So you need special treatment. You need it. Just like Pete Hegseth needed. He got to go through or run through people, fire people that have better record than him and shit. What the fuck? What kind of bullshit is that? He just assumed the role. He didn't even, he doesn't even have the role on paper. He just, I did more work than you. I'm going to judge you. You've been here serving all these years, worked your way up from nothing, and I just slid in here under Trump, and I'm going to fire you. Trump is full of shit, boy. Man. And his supporters are too. You guys will never survive on your own.
Said, unquote. Maria denies that story. Driscoll is someone Hegseth perceives as a threat, sources tell CNN. Unsurprisingly, he has worked closely with the now retired General Randy George. Hegseth's firing sprees targeting women, targeting people of color, or even just those he feels personally threatened by. This all comes as...
Yeah, he's a coward. That's what I'm saying. Trump supporters are cowards. All you have to do is show up in the room and they get fucking scared. Oh no, get him out of here. He might work harder than me. He might be smarter than me. He might know more than me. He might show in real terms in front of everybody that he's better than me. Who you think? You think you better than us? Let me get my Klan sign and go hang it outside your house and burn it and say, don't you think you better than us, nigga?
U.S. is weighing a further escalation in the
You better not think you're better than me.
already unpopular war in Iran. A grounded
fucking cowards and shit,
invasion
man.
that could potentially risk the lives of thousands of troops, which only 11% of U.S. adults polled by CNN support. In that same poll, incidentally, Secretary Hegseth himself is registering at a 35% approval rating, with 65%.
Look at that. He gets poor ratings. He's poor. This is why he's doing all this shit, because the dude is lousy, man. And people that support Hegseth, no one likes you. No one likes you in society. This is the same reflection. You're not liked. People don't like you in real life. You're a failure in real life. You only get 35%. That's not passing in class. That's a motherfucking F. Don't you know that? If you get 35%, that means you failed the class, okay? You failed at the job, okay? This is what your grade is, okay? And this is what your grade in life. If you support Pete Hegseth, this is your grade in life. You need to go the fuck back to school, but you can't afford it.
Of the American people disapproving. And now, without the guidance of tenured military officials who have served for decades honorably, that guidance, because Secretary Hegseth is either dismissed or hamstrung for reasons that remain unclear to even top military officers, now the Trump administration is scrambling to prove to the American people that there is a clear plan for the war in Iran and that it's worth the costs of thousands of U.S. troops that they're putting in harm's way. Let's bring in Washington Post reporter Dan Lamont, who covers the Pentagon, and the military has broken a lot of these stories. Dan, can you put in perspective what the firing of General Randy George will mean for the leadership of the Pentagon right now?
Oh, look at that. Hold on. Sterling, what's up? Hold on. That was 12:38. Okay, that was a different time. I'm sorry. Let me 2 seconds. That was Sterling. I saw him. I didn't realize he wrote a message. Yeah, so the link is in the chat, as you can see. It's right there. All you got to do is click on the Discord link. You see where it says Discord? It says panel. Right where it says panel, after that is the Discord link. What you need to do is install that on your phone. And this is also the invite. This is the direct invite to my server that allows you to talk in this program. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it works. Yeah, that's if you want to hop up. And again, if you are, anybody can, don't worry. I'm not so pushy, but I want Trump supporters to stand up, man. Don't be cowards. Show your face. Don't hide behind the internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up for that. I want to hear your voice. I want to see your face. You see what I'm saying? And then I will respect you. Without that, nah. And why do I say that? Because I'm here. I show my face every day. I speak my piece every day. And then I go to work and I live my life every day. So what's wrong with you? You can't do the same thing? You're not equal? You don't think you're equal to me? You don't want to be equal? Or you think you better than me? You're not better than me. You see what I'm saying? So the rules are the same for you. If you want respect, then you need to do the same amount of work. You need to follow the same rules. That's all it's about. Doesn't matter what color you are, any of that other shit, your religion. I don't care. Your sexuality, your sex, gender, or whatever. I don't care about all of that. It's just equality, just fairness, being fair within reason. Okay. So let's continue. Let's see here. What is he talking
Been
about?
in the Army for more than 40 years. I met him just maybe a year or two after you did, when he was a one-star general at the Army War College in Pennsylvania. He's a thoughtful guy. I honestly have no idea which party he would belong to politically. He kind of adheres to that old school nonpartisan sort of idea that you would hope for in your generals.
So a source familiar with what happened tells me that the firing was entirely about these promotions and personnel matters. That's the reason, and that General George requested a meeting with Hegseth. Hegseth refused to give it to him, and they fired him and leaked it to the media at the same time. What's going on here? Why would Hegseth do this?
I think this is a significant final data point in sort of the Randy George Army saga under Hegseth. I do think it's more complex than it being just about this event. My own reporting would suggest that there's been sort of this churn on this. How long will Randy George last? Whether or not Randy George is acceptable to Hegseth, really going back many months. And that Dan Driscoll, who had really kind of hit a good teamwork kind of vibe with the general, really did like him, really did want to keep him, and was increasingly frustrated trying to make the case to Secretary Hegseth.
What was the issue beyond the issue of personnel and promotions? What are the...
Because Hegseth is a goddamn moron. So this man has way more experience than Hegseth, period. Especially, specifically in military knowledge of what a military's job is and how to carry it out. He has more experience than Hegseth. But Mr. Bitch ass DEI, you see how phony these people are, these culture war people? They went in there and they got everybody to buy this DEI thing. You know, the blacks and the women and the homos, they didn't earn that place in the military. They didn't work hard enough. They just got it because they were just forced into it. They took away a qualified person's job. You know, only a jackass would think something like that inside of the United States of America. But so let's just remove DEI. The truth is that it's not about how hard you work. It was never that. These motherfuckers don't even like people like him. It's about this is about insecurity and corruption, you know, and how it just fucks over everything, you know. Trig, I'll see you, man. I appreciate that. You know, this is about insecurity. This guy, Pete Hegseth, he can't even be fair to anybody who follow the rules, tries to do the right thing. He just can't be fair. You see what I mean? And that's what this is really about. So remember, Mr. DEI is firing white boys too. He's firing white boys that got more experience than him. I'm sorry I'm calling him that, but just, you know, in the context of what we're talking about, Pete Hegseth, he doesn't deserve respect. Pete Hegseth doesn't deserve. He doesn't need to be. No one should. No one should give him any type of title. You know what I'm saying, of respect. You know, he's a boy, Pete Hegseth, and he's fired a man with long time experience, and he did it just like that. So you see, he's a moron, in other words. You know what I'm saying?
Increasingly frustrated trying to make the case to Secretary Hegseth.
What was the issue?
Yeah. A person that's got way more experience in military affairs was trying to explain something to Hegseth, And Hegseth is so much lacking experience. He's at 33% in the polls of Americans, so he gets an F in performance. And he's too stupid and a jackass and a drunk and a bigot to have any clue about military science and what is being discussed. He thinks it's a photo op and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Beyond the issue of personnel and promotions, what are the other issues?
I mean, I think some of it is the senior Pentagon staff right now. There are people who literally are combing through biographies, combing through past testimony, looking for what they said on diversity 3, 5, 7 years ago, and kind of building a dossier of sorts, trying to assemble who kind of fits the mold they're looking for.
Anybody who's a Trump supporter, click the link. It's in the chat. Here we go. Do it again. Click the link. It says panel, Discord. Hop up. Show people who you are. Let everyone, the listeners, hear your voice. Let us qualify. So, what right now? I'm going to ask a question since nobody's hopping up. People in the chat, what state are you from, and who is your health care provider? So I can qualify whether you're an actual American or not, and what your situation is. I want to know how good you're doing. You see what I mean? And now, obviously, you're not a millionaire. Well, maybe a couple of people are. Eric, you a millionaire? I don't know. A couple of, millionaire is not a lot of money these days. I'm not talking about 1 million, but most of you ain't doing that goddamn well. That's why you're here. No pun intended. But I'm not saying you're doing bad, but we know you're not really like, way up there. And if you are, damn, that's if you happen to be, then damn, thanks for watching my program. I'm glad you enjoy it. But most people are average Americans. You know what I mean? Work hard, plan hard, maybe got a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Maybe have a little bit more than others, but still, understand, the situation in the United States is not good for the average American. Most people that watch my program understand most Americans are struggling right now with what is going on. So, I understand that. Well, let me put it to you this way. You ain't Pam Bondi rich in the chat. Maybe one person might have 20 million, but most people don't. That's maybe 1% of the people in the chat have 1 million. So the average person is not a millionaire in this chat. So I want to know who you are also. I read your messages, but I don't have shit to go on for a lot of you. A lot of you, you're just, nothing on your YouTube page is just a message. I don't get to hear your voice. I don't get to know nothing about you. So your message comes off as nothing. I'm just letting you know. That's why people listen to me, because I show my face. I let people know who I am. I qualify my statements with stuff. You see what I'm saying? You can go find out I'm a real goddamn person. You can go find out who I am in real life, and you can go find out I'm exactly like this in real life. I'm exactly like this and always have been. You see what I'm saying? Always going to speak my mind. I haven't really been doing it on YouTube lately, and I'm generally not that type of person unless I feel like something has to be said, which I do feel like, given the times in the United States, that something got to be said. Yeah, I'm a person to say it, though. Well, something got to be said. You see what I'm saying? So hop up. Let people hear your voice. Let people know how you feeling. Anybody that supports Trump, hop your ass up. Show you got some gusto. You see what I mean? All right, so let's continue.
Randy George had served under the Biden administration. Randy George specifically had been a senior military assistant to Lloyd Austin, Biden's defense secretary. And in testimony, when asked candid questions, he was in favor of diversity as part of a broader effort to have unit cohesion in the Army.
There are thousands of troops deployed to the Middle East right now, as we all wait to see if the U.S. is going to commence with a ground operation in Iran. Is there a sense that there's any confidence that give us the sense of confidence in Hegseth's leadership among those who are directly impacted?
I really hope that they're not sent in there, because the truth of the matter is that they're being sent in there for bad reasons. Of course, if we have a war, like even myself, and I mean this, I'm not playing around either. When it comes to Denmark, where I live as an adult, although I'm an American, My kids are Danish and American. They're dual citizens. But you know, the bottom line is when it comes to Denmark, protecting Denmark, standing with you know, this kind of thing with Russia and all of this shit, and also Trump, I stand with the Danes. Like, there's no joke about it. I'm not one of these people that's confused about what's going on. You know, if there's some sort of conflict with Russia, pass me a gun too. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want to help. I'm at least going to do some volunteer service so everyone else can go outside and fight. You see what I mean? But it's not a joke. You know, just like a lot of big moments in history are not jokes. They're not joking matters. You see what I mean? We're adults. So adults have to contemplate serious moments in history and what you're willing to do in that serious time. You know, and African Americans have done that our entire time in the country. We fought in many wars, you know, for many reasons. You see what I'm saying? So, but the thing is now, it's like, what are we fighting for? What is this all about? What's the point in fighting for a lunatic, fighting a war you don't have to fight? Since when do you fight wars you don't have to fight? Since when do you lose lives you don't have to lose? Yeah, I'm American. Yeah, I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C., man. Yeah. Go check out this book, by the way. It's called Pump Me Up, DC Subculture of the 1980s. You'll find some of my buddies up, me and my buddies up in this book. You know, a few of my buddies up in this book, along with many others, you know, and I'm also in a documentary that's called The Legend of Cool Disco Dan. If you ever been in DC, then you know about this writer called Cool Disco Dan. There was a documentary done by him by Roger Gassman and who else was it? Yeah, Joseph Patterson, right? They did a documentary. It's the #1 documentary about DC subculture. So I'm also in that documentary. And a lot of people know me from back in those days. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in DC in the 80s and the 90s and all of that shit, right? So, yeah, but I live in Copenhagen, Denmark as an adult. So I'm blessed to live here. You know what I'm saying? And somebody said, I got no time to read books. Well, watch the documentary. But, you know what I'm saying? But it's not about reading necessarily, because the book is also full of photographs. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's full of art. It's about subculture. So it's full of photographs. You see? Art. Full of art and photographs. If you notice, you see what I mean? So it's not just reading. You know what I mean? Although reading helps. You know what I'm saying? Reading might help you, but it's about art and subculture. So, and it's full of photographs about artists and people that contributed to the subculture of DC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Bad Brains. Did you see Bad Brains back in the day? Yeah, Bad Brains, man, of course. And actually, I got a record my homeboy did with HR. Should I go get that record? Hold on for a second. Let me go get this joint. My homeboys did a little joint. They did a documentary about HR too. They produced it. Mal Clemens and Rob Parcell. They produced a documentary for HR. But yeah, and they got a LP, or they got a record out also that they produced with HR too. I think Mal produced it, and a few other homies did. One of my other homies did Ahmad. He did the artwork for the LP. I mean, but yeah, I know everybody that was around in those times. I know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, somehow, and if I don't know them, then my closest friends know them, roll with them too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me see here. But let's get back to this stuff. Yeah, somebody said they proud to say they don't read. Somebody said don't even speak on a dummy, proud to say they don't read. I mean, yo, but the book got pictures too. There's also a documentary. You know what I'm saying? You can watch the documentary too. It's a #1 documentary of about DC subculture. It's called The Legend of Cool Disco Dan. But I read. You know what I'm saying? So, but in any case, you know, why are we going to war? I don't wish that on any of these young guys. Why are they sending them to war? Listen, Well, go to war against someone who wants to fucking kill you. Someone that wants to really attack your country. They're not trying to attack the U.S. I mean, come on, get it. What is so confusing about this? What is so confusing about it? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. What's so confusing about it? You know, I could tell you, if you wanted a war with if you attack the United States of America, there's plenty of people that will fight. That's not the issue. The issue is this is serious. Why do you need to shed blood over something that is not necessary for? That's the point. Reasonable people understand you don't lose lives for no good reason. You see what I mean? And so, yeah, somebody said Israel's no different than Iran. Yeah, I mean, to me, what the? I don't live in Israel. I don't live in Iran, and they don't want to live together. Hey, man, they don't take my advice. My advice, my advice would be to make peace. Very simple. Unless you want to see more people in the region just continue to die over and over and over and over and over. To me, there's something wrong with a person that doesn't know how to reach out and grasp peace. Even with a person that's been your adversary, you need to know how to do that as a leader, because your own people being killed too. You see what I'm saying? Like, what is that about? What's this about? It's not normal. You know, so of course it's complex, but it's not normal. But now we got our soldiers over there. It's like, come on, man. What is this, man? You should be ashamed to invade someone else's country. Like, just to put it very plain, you should not go into their country. Just like nobody else should send their army to the United States of America. That would be a bad mistake, because Americans will fucking kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. You know what I'm saying? Americans will not have that. You see what I mean? And but it's the same thing with Iranians, man. Come on, you what do you expect them to do when you go inside of their country? What do you fucking expect? No one. What do you expect? What did Russia expect when they invaded Ukraine? You see all them Russians dying, right? You see Ukrainians giving up? Nope, they're not. It's very simple. So that's the bad part about this. You're going into someone else's country. Why? You know, so just keep that in mind. They're going to be aiming for you. They're going to be trying to kill you. They're going to be doing everything possible to kill you because you're in their country. Very simple. So I just hope that somebody gets control of Trump soon, because I don't know who these young men are, but they deserve better. Regardless, you know, no matter what their ethnicity is, no matter what their story is, they deserve better, you know? Yeah.
In the U.S. military.
Today.
All right. So let me see something here. I keep switching over. I didn't see anybody hop up yet. So let me keep it going. There's a lot of news. There's also more news about this. I want to hear about the NATO. The NATO. Let me see here. It says, what does it say here? Trump warned over potential NATO exit. Yeah, Trump is trying to exit NATO apparently, and he should get the fuck out. If he doesn't want to act, if he doesn't want to be honest, and he doesn't want to act on the best behalf of the United States of America, then he should get the fuck out. You know, that's what I think. He's a hassle, you know, but apparently people are talking about it now.
I think it's pretty divided. I don't think by any means it's universally against. There are people who really kind of buy into his lethality rhetoric, but there is significant concern that he's perhaps not fully appreciating the gravity of this situation, particularly when you look at things today, like the pilot down on the ground. This is something that was a foreseeable circumstance in a serious campaign with numerous aircraft up against a country that also has anti-aircraft.
Dan Lamont, The Washington Post. Thank you so much. Good to have you, sir.
There is rarely a good time to do a shakeup in the military. And now Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has pushed out 3 generals during wartime. First, U.S. Army Chief of Staff General Randy George was ordered to retire yesterday. And now we've learned 2 more generals have been forced out. Major General William Green, Jr., who served as the Chief of Chaplains, and General David Hodney, commander of the Army Transformation and Training Command. Now the military is missing critical combat experience as the war with Iran enters week 6. And joining me now, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Russell Honore. General, good to see you again. Let me ask you about these 3 generals who have been pushed out by Secretary Hegseth. The Pentagon has not given an explicit reason for why they were fired. What do you make of the dismissals?
Well, I've been quite two traditional as well as decisions about the going into boots on the ground in Iran that the secretary, the chief of staff of the Army would have had some major input on. The boots on the ground decision, when and where. His job is to prepare them. His job is to make sure all the air defenses that's been defending our allies are prepared. And sometime I've served on the Joint Chiefs of Staff as a 2-star general. The service chiefs do have a vote and try to influence the decisions made by the Secretary of Defense and by the President. And I sense with this Secretary of Defense, disagreement means dissent, and that if there's not good discussions on what decision is going to be made and how they're going to do it, then they serve no purpose. I think what he's looking for is yes people, loyalists who will do what he says and how he said do it, as opposed to.
And that's the thing about it, looking for yes people. And you don't, when you have experience, you're not a yes person. Those two things contradict each other. If you're looking for yes people, then it means you're not relying on experience. That's what that is, you know, because experienced people don't just do anything you tell them. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know what type of operation Hegseth thinks he's doing, you know, what he thinks his job is, but his job is to work with these people, not to tell them what to do, to seek their advice and their experience on matters. It's not to just simply go in and tell them what to do and say, fuck experience. Experience doesn't matter. I'm in charge now. No, that's not. You might be the civilian head of the military, but you're not in charge like that. You see what I mean? And if you want the military performing well, you need heed the advice of the generals also. You see what I mean? That's the whole point. Now, you might be able to get them into a war, but can you direct them successfully? If you get them into a war that the generals say you shouldn't do it this way, there's another way to go about it, and you're too arrogant to listen to the professionals with the experience, 1,000 times more experience than you. If you're not clever enough to heed that experience, then what happens is that you put troops in harm's way. And then you just leave it up to the generals after. You can't maneuver around Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible is a failure anyway. You see what I mean? So just sending it, you know, sending the troops there is just crazy because it's actually against the rationale. Look, nobody's hit the link. Nobody's trying to hit the link. Nobody that supports Trump has hit the link. Here's the link again. Nobody's hitting the link. So I'm going to show you guys the Discord thing so you could see nobody's hit the link lately. Not today. Not in this stream. So 2 seconds. I'm going to play this. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Following the customs and traditions of the military that we want to have active debate before we do something. I don't think he tolerates that. If you go question him on why did you take those officers off the promotion list? Why are we changing the rank of the chaplains? Or maybe we ought to discuss this. He does not tolerate any discussion. He's got a big ego problem, and that could have long-standing impact to our military.
General Russell Honore, thank you so much for being with me this evening. Always good to see you.
Good evening. God bless America, and hope we can find that pilot.
Indeed.
Tonight, a shakeup at the Pentagon amid the ongoing war in Iran. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has fired the Army's top general. And a source tells CNN that Hegseth told Army Chief of Staff General Randy George to retire immediately. 2 other senior leaders are also out. Another source reveals that the decision to fire George was abrupt, but expected. George and Hegseth had been at odds for months after Hegseth blocked the promotion of several Army officers, including 2 women and 2 who are Black. The source says that George demanded to see Hegseth about the issue, but Hegseth denied the meeting. The purge comes just days after President Trump signaled that the U.S. would intensify strikes in Iran, and as the Pentagon weighs a potential ground invasion. Isaiah Martin is here with us. It is, even outside of all of the interpersonal drama, of which there is plenty about this, we're in the middle of a war. And the Army Chief of Staff and to just be purging members of the top military brass in this moment just seems unwise, if not just a great gift to our enemies in terms of what they can say about us in this moment.
Well, I certainly think that the Iranian regime couldn't have seen or gotten something better for them in this instance. I think ultimately what's happening right now is that the United States military is saying that we're completely have a leadership that is just simply, we don't understand where we're going. I'm particularly concerned about the fact that, the target seems to be moving consistently. I know for this, first it said that there was not going to be a ground invasion. Then we see reports that there could potentially be one. I think that's an issue. And the fact that we're seeing this change in leadership right now, I think is a sign that we don't really know what's going on.
I think to provide some context for it, right? So the armed services, so the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, their job is what we call man, train, and equip. Their job is to recruit the forces, train them, and make sure they're equipped to go to war. And then when we fight a war,
All right.
There's a 4-star commander in charge of.
Yo, I like that guy that just was there. His name is Isaiah. I believe he's from one of, is he from Texas? I think he's from Texas, actually. He is. He ran for a seat, but he didn't win, but he's got a huge following now. He built up a huge following on social media, and the dude is very sharp. Let me just let that play real quick.
The armed services, so the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, their job is what we call man, train, and equip. Their job is to recruit the forces, train them, and make sure they're equipped to go to war. And then when we fight a war, there's a 4-star commander in charge of the combatant commands around the world, where we're basically broken up worldwide in geography, and there's a 4-star responsible for fighting in the different areas. So right now the war is being fought by U.S. Central Command. So there's a 4-star commander, Admiral Brad Cooper, down in Tampa, who's responsible for the fight. The Army's job is to transfer forces in accordance with the war plan if there's ground troops or the Navy or the Air Force, regardless. So the folks that were let go today or that were fired, you had the chief of chaplains. There's been a problem where I think the secretary said he had an issue with what he saw as secular humanism in the chaplains corps ranks. You want to
I just want to note that it's apparently the first time that the chief of chaplains has ever been fired.
In the history of the military.
It's a 4-year term.
In the history of the military, it's the first time there. The chief of the training side, he said issues with training, and then General George, you just mentioned, had an issue going back to that. But this is part of a series of firings that we've seen across the administration. And I think, as you noted, just in terms of demographics, women make up about 20% of the military, a little bit less than that, a little bit less than 8%.
About 17%.
17%. And then the general officer ranks only about 8%. But there's been a disproportionate number of women and minority general officers that were fired. And the argument's kind of coming back. Are they being fired because they're minorities, and whether it's gender or ethnic or racial minorities, or is this for another reason? I think the secretary is coming back and saying that some people were put in positions they shouldn't have been in as a result of that. Other people are saying no, that they deserve to be there, and you're firing them as a result. And that's the two sides of the argument people are making.
And General George, as well as the Army Secretary, so let's not forget the Secretary of Army is a political appointee. So you have here the civilian and the military leadership of the Army working very closely together. And apparently that was part of Hegseth's problem, is that he had these two people working closely together.
And just a little bit of context on that. I mean, CNN's reporting is that Randy George was very close to Army Secretary Dan Driscoll, and Hegseth.
All right. So just so you see, this is the Discord link is active. I'm gonna give you an example. There would be a notification if somebody hit the link. These are all the people that already are hooked up on my server. So these people can hop up at any time, free of will, right? You got Sterling, you got Pizza Guy. Where you at, Pizza Guy? Long time, man. And there's others. There's Eric, of course. There's also Friars, right? All of them are already added to the server. So you need to come to the server. So what I do, right? I'm gonna give you a real-time example of that. Here, see, this is the server. I click that button, boom, say copy, right? And then I put it in the link, and this is how you do it. So just for people to know, just as a reference, here you go, all right? So there's the link. You click on it, and you invite it to my server, and when it's installed on your phone, you can come up and speak, all right? So there we go.
Perceived Driscoll as a threat and at times had a contentious relationship with him. Driscoll is also close to J.D. Vance, has been mentioned as a possible replacement for Hegseth.
Yep.
Cynthia, what's up? All
wanna
right,
burn
so
belly fat?
damn, CNN got a whole lot of goddamn commercials. Excuse my language here. I'm sorry. Boom. So tip tap. No, I'm sorry. Trigger tap. You ain't up on here, man. So you gotta figure that one out, man. All you gotta do is click the link like everybody else. It works the same for everybody. So hop on up. Yep. Let's see here. Let me bring this back now. 2 seconds.
Energy.
Yeah, I hope everybody's having a good start to their day also, or morning, depending on where you are. It's the morning in Copenhagen, and it's the middle of the night in the U.S., 4 in the morning. So, all right, let's go. Let's continue.
Since Signalgate, since that chat where he was sharing classified information.
Right. Now, Pete Hegseth, that's a good point. Pete Hegseth's competence is just not there. This guy is the civilian head of the military. Right. He's not the military head. He's not a general or anything like that. He didn't rise through the ranks. Right. So he's not the head of the military, but he's the civilian head. He gets appointed. Every president gets to appoint a person, fire them, appoint another one, blah, blah, blah. Right. But Pete Hegseth, he's so inexperienced that he didn't know that you can't use Signalgate, that Signalgate is not secure, that Russia and China hack that actual app. You see what I mean? And they use it for espionage. And so the thing is that why do you continue to use it when you were warned by the military to not use it in the first place? Before he used it, before he took office, before he got to be the civilian head, on day one, he was told directly, do not use the Signal app. Do not use any third-party communications. Use only our encrypted military communications. They have their own way of communicating. And these people just refuse to follow the secure norms. They refuse. They were told that Russia and China and Iran can hack Signal. And these people said, be damned, fuck you, and fuck the United States of America. I'm going to use this goddamn app. And if they're spying on us, so fucking what? That's what they actually did. Big girl. I see you there, Bev. Yeah, that's what they actually did. So keep that in mind. This is not innocent anymore. This is not innocent. They were told in advance. If you were told in advance what to do at work and you didn't do it, would you have a job?
He seems to be on shaky ground, or at least his perception of his job. And there's some reporting that this is a result of that.
I will say it so you don't have to. He is signaling that he's a very insecure leader right now because he's getting rid of expertise surrounding him. General George brought the army out of a mass.
They're doing the same thing Trump is doing. Get rid of anyone that has any experience. You know why you do that? It's so once you get rid of everybody with any experience, then it's a free lane for some other entity to show up, because there will be no one that can defend the house at that point. That's the whole point. You see what I mean? Get rid of all capable, experienced people, so that the real threat can occur, so that the real attack can fucking happen. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. You know, I don't look at it as innocent.
Massive recruitment crisis back in 2020, one of the worst we've seen. He brought it back to force.
All right, so let me go on now. Here we go. This is Trump being warned about NATO, or his position on NATO, how he's behaving in NATO.
Trump has been briefed as,
and this is punk ass Fox News.
The search continues for the second crew member of an F-15E fighter jet that went down over Iran. And it comes as the president reportedly says the downing of that jet will not affect his negotiations with Iran as the conflict now enters.
Isn't that's projection? what is this? The downing of the jet's not going to affect my negotiations with Iran.
The sixth went down over. President Trump has been briefed as the search continues for the second crew member.
The second crew member was found, by the way. I just want to hear what they said about NATO, though.
Of an F-15E fighter jet that went down over Iran. And it comes as the president reportedly says the downing of that jet will not affect his negotiations with Iran as the conflict now enters the sixth week. The jet went down near Karg Island and the pilot was ejected safely. A second U.S. jet was also reportedly targeted.
They can to track him down as well and will use him for propaganda purposes as a hostage. And if the Iranians do catch him at all.
Here we go. They found the second soldier, by the way, the U.S. did. So that's good because they would have paraded him around.
After this conflict is concluded, we are going to have to re-examine that relationship. Has it now become a one-way street where America is simply in a position to defend Europe, but when we need the help of our allies, they're going to deny us basing rights and they're going to deny us overflight? I think these are very legitimate.
But, sorry, Marco Rubio. Someone didn't tell you? Someone forgot to tell Mark Rubio that Trump threatened to invade Canada and Greenland, and it was all over American news. It was Fox News, and it was all over international news, and people have been moving military troops around to defend themselves from that very real threat that Trump made. So Marco Rubio, who is he working for? Like, is he working for the American people? Is he working for Putin? It sounds like he's working for Putin. Like, he didn't see the threat. He was not aware of that threat. He didn't see Putin. Look, this administration doesn't see Putin invading Ukraine and committing hybrid attacks across Europe. This administration is supposed to be one of the head of NATO, and it doesn't notice any of that, although it's openly being discussed with all military brass. Okay, so the military of the United States knows it, but Mark Rubio doesn't know it. The military of the United States knows that other NATO nations move troops, actual troops, to Greenland to defend it against invasion of the threat made by Donald Trump. The military brass in the U.S. know that happened. Mark Rubio is pretending like it never happened. You see? So it's just crazy that he's talking this way. But to me, it looks like he's a hostage or something. Like, why is he? No one lies this much. If you have your own freedom. What the fuck? It's almost like they must have a gun up to him, like, or his kids or some shit. Like, listen, motherfucker, you better go out here and say this shit like we told you to. Otherwise, we're going to get your goddamn kids. And look at his face. He doesn't even look like he even believes it. He looks like he's being forced to say this shit, man.
On that. Listen here.
Unfortunately, after this conflict is concluded, we are going to have to re-examine that relationship. Has it now become a one-way street?
We're going to have to re-examine it. Everyone's already re-examined it, you jackass. They don't trust you. European nations have come out in public on TV saying, we don't trust you. We believe you work for Putin. We believe the Epstein files has something to do with how you're behaving, Mark Rubio and Trump personally. People are just saying it. Oh, leaders are just saying it. The leader of Spain, the president of Spain said this months ago, said that Trump is obviously is acting as an agent for Putin, for Russia. He said that. Once a president says that in the EU, that is a sentiment widely shared. You see what I'm saying? Maybe all the members don't share it, but at least half do. You see what I'm saying? So that's a wide number of European nations that believe Trump is actually being used by Putin for some reason. So Marco Rubio didn't hear this? Why doesn't Marco Rubio talk about that?
where America is simply in a position to defend Europe, but when we need the help of our allies, they're going to deny us basing rights and they're going to deny us overflight.
Spain denied them basing rights.
I think these are very legitimate
Overflight rights too.
questions.
Legitimate questions. Well, what do you think of that?
Okay, so yeah, so that happened. Now let's see here. Let's go on. Let me see what's happening here. Is this right? Let me see. Who's in the chat? Okay. Yeah. Oh, Greg, what's up? What's up, Greg? I see you. Appreciate you. All right, let's go on.
Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton. He serves on the House Armed Services Committee and is a former Marine Corps officer in Iraq. Congressman, welcome to you.
Do me a favor.
As you're
everybody, click the like button right now. I appreciate it. Okay. It's I don't know how many likes I got. It's 166 people watching the stream. Do me a favor, if you're watching on your TV, pick up your remote and hit the like button. It helps more people find the video now and later. I appreciate it.
aware, Iran has for decades used hostage taking as a tactic against its adversaries. What are the concerns Iran could use the missing airman to gain leverage over the U.S. and how far will the
if you want to hop up, the link right there to hop up and speak so people can hear what your voice sounds like, so I can also see your face. Also, somebody wrote, "Oh God, another racist streamer." Can I see your face? Who are you? Where are you from? What language do you speak? In reality, I don't mean type. What language do you actually speak? Can I hear your voice? What state do you live in, and who's your health care provider? Thank you.
Trump administration go to rescue him?
I don't know what race you are. Are you dirty? Are you a dirty stinking something? Let me know. Hop up on you dirty stinking something.
Well, it's not only concerning that they have a history of doing
You fucking bad immigrant. Boo. Get out of my country, immigrant. Get out of my country, Steve.
this, Alex. It's concerning that we have a Secretary of
Do you have any black in you? I bet you do. Any Jew in you, Steve? Huh?
Defense who likes to mock the law of war. A secretary
I'm going to call the KKK on you, okay?
that I know active duty Marines call the Secretary of War Crimes because Ranger Pete just likes to perpetrate war crimes. And so now we're relying on Iran to follow the laws of war. We're relying on Iran to not commit war crimes against
Facts.
this downed pilot if he or she is found by the Iranian people or the Iranian regime. And that's a dangerous place to be in. And of course, all of this is happening under the backdrop of a president of the United States who once mocked service.
Look at this. Steve says, "Yes, please do. My kids are black, moron." Yeah. Oh, you mean your kids are stinking niggers? Is that what you mean? I'm a racist, huh? You stinking nigger kids? Is that it? You call me a racist? Are you? What are you? Are you a nigger also? Okay. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You call me a racist, so yeah, I'm gonna be racist against your ass. What are you? And especially your black kids. Okay.
Men who get captured, who said of John McCain,
I hate blacks. Okay, especially the blacks.
I don't like veterans who got captured. That's the only reason he's a war hero. I like the ones that don't get captured. I wonder how
I hate everybody. Okay, I hate everybody. I'm coming after everybody, all of them. The niggas, the spics, the Jews, the gays. Okay, and especially the Anglo-Saxons in America. You too. The natives, everybody. Okay, you're gonna all go to hell.
That pilot is feeling right now, knowing that that's the attitude of our commander-in-chief.
Give me a sense of how dangerous
I hate human beings. All of you fucking stinking human beings.
rescue missions like this are. We
I'm racist against humans.
keep hearing it over and over again, but put it in perspective. I mean, you were there in Iraq.
Oh my God.
Well, it's incredibly dangerous, and I actually had the honor to command a trap platoon that's specifically trained to rescue downed pilots in situations like this.
Oh, wow.
And it is incredible.
So let me ask you, has anyone been training U.S. military at any time? Anyone been training U.S. military at this time? Because this gentleman has. Okay, so put a 1 in the chat if you've trained U.S. military troops at any time. Put a 1 in the chat if you have. Put a 2 in the chat if you haven't. Here we go. I'm going to put a 2 in the chat. Boom. because I haven't. Now let's see who else hasn't.
Incredibly dangerous. I mean, we flew in once to a crash site right after an American plane had been shot down.
What's up, April? I mean, if you haven't, you might want to listen to what this guy says. He might have some expertise. Unless you like Pete Hegseth, you don't need. You just know everything. Just you was born that way, born better than everybody.
Trained to rescue down pilots in situations like this. And it is incredibly dangerous. I mean, we flew in once to a crash site right after an American plane had been shot down. So we didn't know if we might get shot down by the same enemy that had shot down this plane. That's the risk that all of these servicemen and women face going into this conflict zone. They have to fly very low. They have to go through search patterns. They have to spend time over an area. And everyone knows where they're headed.
Corny ass Junior obviously hasn't trained anybody because he didn't even bother to answer. So we know he ain't trained nobody. Steve hasn't trained anyone. He just copped out and said, fuck it, I won't say anything. Exactly. You shouldn't. You should shut up and listen when people have more experience than you in something. Okay.
Right.
This man has more experience than you. So listen.
Iranians know that they're coming to where the plane was shot down. So it's an incredibly dangerous mission. And let's not forget that we may disagree with this war wholeheartedly, but you've got to admire the Americans who are willing to go after this pilot.
Yo, Curly said, look at this shit. Yo, I can't see this, but Curly said, look, this is so funny. He says, Pete Hegseth's knowledge comes from his alcohol. It's true. He does. His bravery also.
and try to recover the airmen.
I saw him at a NATO meeting, and this dude was taking shots. He's a fucking real alcoholic. Like, the dude was taking shots while he was speaking. He just pulled up his little shot glass, and you could tell how he drank it. It wasn't water. You see what I'm saying? That is crazy. He gets his courage when he's drunk. If he's not drunk, I bet you, man, I bet you that guy is all shakes. I bet you.
Because it is incredibly dangerous. And the danger here, too, is that we get more drawn in, that another plane gets shot down, that we have more downed servicemen and women in Iran. And that
Junior likes to hear me talk. He's just in denial, man, kind of like an undercover homo. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on out the closet, Junior. You like what you're hearing, man. Why are you faking? Don't fake the funk. Come on now. That's like going to that's like going to a gay club and in denial about being gay. I just go there every week, man. I don't know. I just like the music and the company. That's all. This is the only club I go to. That's Junior for you, all up in my chat and shit, talking, acting like he don't like me and shit, man. What the fuck, you undercover worshiper? You worship me, man.
With this conflict,
that's out of here.
The more the president gets him,
and I can walk all over you too because I don't even like you and you in my chat. That's embarrassing. Why go to places people don't respect you, man? Like, damn.
Himself stuck in this.
That's abusive, yo.
The more he escalates, the more he threatens.
He said, I love you. I don't love you, man. What the fuck? You better go find somebody else, man.
Even to escalate, the harder it's going to be.
I might hate you, actually, because you probably voted for Trump. So that just gives me the right to fucking hate your ass, okay?
For him to get out.
I tell you, we pray this airman or airwoman who is probably running for their life literally right now. Is picked up soon by the U.S. and brought home safely. Let's talk about the first.
All right, that's good that the troop was brought home safely. All right, so let me see. I want to get into some more deeper news now. Let me see here. There's been some podcasting about this shit. Airmen safe. Rescued. Right. Oh wow, the video of Bondi getting fired. Yeah, we got to worship this firing. We got to praise Allah, praise Jesus. For this firing.
Your Sea Dance 2 has been
Jesus, you answered my prayers when you fired Pete Hegseth. You proved that there really truly is. I mean, not Pete Hegseth, Bondi. You proved that there really is a God. God really does exist. You see, I prayed and I delivered. I prayed. I'm telling you, and maybe not in the way everybody else prays. You know what I mean? But I meditate on things. I bring them into fruition. I do like rituals and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so my ritual is like I just grab a little doll with Pam Bondi and I just stick her and shit. Yeah, that's what I did, y'all. And I said, please, God, fire her ass. And lo and behold, that shit worked, yo. She fired, man. And I'm not going to tell you what else I asked for God to do. She should be careful, yo.
Has become a little bit paranoid and is.
All right, big up to Luke Beasley, man. He's got some entertaining podcasting going on. Informative, but also entertaining. But so let's peep. There's a video that came out of Pam Bondi in real when she just got fired. They're going to watch it. They showed her face. So let's see it.
Had to be doing head fakes with even his top advisors to prevent them from knowing.
Yo, hop on that. That's what I did. I also prayed with that doll. I was like, please make her lose her law degree, her license in Florida, please. And I was sticking her with pins
about certain things so that they don't leak out, like Iran operational decisions, because things are getting very leaky. And he has a list of people that he potentially wants to fire. It may not just be Pam Bondi. I'm also going to show you video of.
Oh, look, somebody said, Lord said, you still not talking about solutions for Americans' problems. Well, damn, when? I never seen you before. That's interesting. But I tell you what, since you missed all my solutions to American problems, right? Since you missed all of them that I've been giving in all these videos, I'll tell you the first solution I made was get the fuck out. Travel a little bit. Check out the world. Why sit around a bunch of hard-headed motherfuckers that don't know better? Why would I do that to my life? That's a hassle. That was the first thing I did, take care of myself. I fixed the problem right there. That means your stupid ass president, bitch ass Donald J. Trump, doesn't get any of my fucking tax dollars. My tax dollars goes to a government that believes everyone has the right to fucking education, higher education also, and will even pay you to go to school. My tax dollars, me being an American living outside of the United States, goes to a country where everyone gets access to health care. That was the first thing I did, right? You want to know more about it? You want to educate yourself? I'll be happy to if you want to listen. If you actually going to do what I fucking tell you to do. Let me tell you what to do right now, you stupid motherfucker. Vote for someone that advocates for that in the fucking United States of America, because you have way more fucking money, you jackass. My solution to the problems in America is you stop being a fucking jackass. Okay? You get in people like me way. You get in my what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's my solution. Stop being a jackass. You stupid ass. What the fuck? You know? Vote for someone who gives a fuck about you. That might help. How about that, you jackass? Okay? Stop being ignorant and fucking stupid. How about that, you jackass? Okay? See, your jackass ass can't even get in my way because I'm smarter than you, you fucking jackass. You can't even get out of your own fucking family's way, your own life's way, you jackass. What state do you live in and who's your healthcare provider, by the way? What state do you live in and who's your healthcare provider? What state do you live in and who's your healthcare provider? What state do you live in and who's your healthcare provider? What state do you live in and who's your healthcare provider? Jackass. Okay, now on to it. Yeah, that's the first thing I did. I came with the solution for myself. Okay, what solution did you come with? Being a jackass? Just continuing the same psycho shit over and over and over? Is that your solution? Actually, you deserve what you deserve it. You deserve it. Because that's what you vote for. So, by the way, if you're interested in voting, right? If you're interested in voting, do not wait. Call your county clerk, register of voters, or board of elections and make sure you are registered to vote or registered in your state with the correct address. Do that now. Don't wait a couple of weeks before the election. It takes time to get a passport or birth certificate. Don't wait until the election is close. It can be delayed for months for some people, right? And I'm only talking to people that actually vote, because interested in voting, because I know a lot of Americans are too stupid to fucking vote. too lazy to fucking vote, too lazy to play a role in any politics in their fucking town. And that's why it's mediocre.
What appears to be the moment that Trump fired Pam Bondi, and she reportedly begged, please don't do this. And then after begging in private, don't do this to me, Trump, and him saying, no, you're out, she went, can I stay at least till the summer? And he said, no. And then
motherfucker still didn't answer the question. What state do you live in and who's your health care provider, jackass?
Came out in public and went, hi guys, I am really, really excited. I have to leave the DOJ for a private sector job that I'm really hyped about, and had to do that whole dog and pony show. So before we get to that, here's the...
Damn, you can't write a complete... I asked, what state do you live in and who is your health care provider, jackass? You answered half the question, jackass.
Reporting I'm referencing.
Motherfuckers live in America and don't even fucking understand English. I mean, this is crazy, man. You know, it's like they just don't understand fucking English. You ask them a concise, simple question, they come back with half the fucking answer, you know, missing the whole point. Oh, well, let's continue.
Calling off the operation in Iran. In the weeks before the attacks were carried, the president also became increasingly aware of leaks. Trump reportedly exploded at aides and fired off a string of profanities in response to a February 17th report from the New York Times revealing the U.S. was preparing for military action in Iran. This led him carrying out a number of precautionary head fakes. And then he did like a, hey, everyone, we're not doing it anymore.
And his goddamn name is Lord. Man, you a little fictional video game ass motherfucker. Like, really? You know what I'm saying? Lord, my name's Lord. I'll just make some shit up. I'm a Lord now. Ain't shit, but I'll just take the title of Lord.
So, I don't know.
You ain't Lord. You ain't nothing but a bitch. Okay?
Something funny about that. You get everyone to plan the operation.
You're dumb.
And then you're like, never mind, so that they won't leak it. Trump became wary enough.
Lord of the fucking trolls.
Of leaks that some of his own aides were the target of subterfuge. On February 27th, he's traveled to Mar-a-Lago, aides assembled in a makeshift situation.
He sound proud as shit too. I voted for Trump 3 times, just like a sucker. You know, goddamn, man, you never get tired of being fucking jacked and scammed, do you? What the fuck? Your whole life is a scam. Your whole life is just that of being scammed, man. What the fuck? Yeah, but it's embarrassing, yo. You should never tell people you voted for Trump 3 times and never show your face. Matter of fact, I guarantee you. Let me just go. I'm not gonna guarantee. Let me just go see. Is this a real face? Is this a real face? And please don't let it be a dumbass black man. Like, Jesus Christ. Hop your ass up, Lord Dyson. Hop your ass up on this panel, man. I want to talk to you, right? Straight up, man. Really. I want to talk to you. I want to know who you are, how life is, man. And don't you hop up here and be fucking lying, okay? Let me see. If you really believe in your bullshit, hop up here and talk. Let people know who you are. Is Lord Dyson? Of course, Lord is not his real title or name, okay? It's phony and it's fake, okay? Look at this. He's a booty scratcher himself. So this is probably a white supremacist. And, you know, and if it's not a white supremacist, then this person's even dumber than I thought. So I hope it is a white supremacist. But go ahead and hop your little bitch ass up here. Either way, white supremacist, white, black, whatever, you're still a bitch. But hop your ass up here and let's talk about it, okay?
Trump bristled at the number of people present. He thought the group was too big. One official recalls it include people Trump didn't recognize or didn't feel he knew well enough. At one point, the president snapped that the operation was off. He said he would keep deliberating. This was another head fake. Trump had clearly already made up his mind to attack that night. So they're describing it as like subterfuge, and Trump's doing advanced.
White supremacists like to pretend like they're black men online and troll people. You see, that's their whole thing. You know, that's the length of their genius and shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is why he ain't gonna hop up on the panel, because everybody gonna hear he's a fucking hillbilly. Most likely, you know what I'm saying? Probably can't even speak fucking English, so he's afraid to let people hear his goddamn voice.
advanced geopolitical head fakes, strategic, like smoke and mirrors. And all it was him going, I've changed my mind. It's
Look at that. You see that? He ain't going to hop up. He's not going to hop up. I know you're not Black American, you jackass. Okay? You in here, you're a fucking bigot. You're a troll, and you're likely a white supremacist. Like, because again, white supremacists are notorious in the United States of America for pretending, or in other countries too, Russia, pretending like they're Black Americans. They're notorious for it. You see what I mean? And I mean, all I'm saying is that I don't care if you're a racist. Go ahead and be a racist, but let people know who you are. Why are you hiding? Why are you hiding? You say I'm a racist. Do you see me hiding? You say I'm a racist. Do you see me hiding? Do you see me hiding from you? I'm not hiding from anybody. Although I'm not a racist, because I talk about against racism every day, but I'm not hiding from anybody. I don't give a fuck what you think. You don't like what I think? Come and stop me, you stupid bitch. Like, seriously, I'm being serious. I ain't got time for no jokers. Like, you got a problem with me? Show up, motherfucker. My address is public. I'm not playing around. That's how I got where I am in my life, by not playing around. It's a time to have fun, and then there's the time to fuck people up if they get in your way. So I met bitches like you my whole life. All right? Get the fuck out of my chat too, you sucker. Anyway, let's hear more about Hegseth. I just wanted to see if he was going to really hop up, but the motherfucker's a coward, so he's not going to do it. So, you know.
All right, everyone leave. It's still on. That was the subterfuge. But he is reportedly considering firing more people and is becoming less trustworthy of those around him. First, let's look at this.
You say this little stupid ass psychology. Oh, I see. I heard your feelings. Oh, really? Well, why didn't you hop up? You can still hop up. Look, he's in timeout now. He's in timeout. He can still hop up on the Discord link anytime he wants. See, so now he has one choice. The only chance he has today to communicate with anyone else watching this program or in the chat having anything to do with this program is if he hits the Discord link. But since he's such a bitch, he's not going to do it. So
in this Fox,
see you later, sucker.
Is reporting they show a camera caught Trump and Pam Bondi talking in the Beast, the big limo, leaving the Supreme Court, which is reportedly where he fired him. So we caught the moment where she's getting the news.
A Fox News alert on the ousting of Pam Bondi as the Attorney General. We are getting brand new details from the White House. John Yoo joining us, jumping in on the news. Todd Blanche, John, set to become the
Fox News having a meltdown.
Interim AG, but all of this happening, interestingly enough, after yesterday we saw both of them, President Trump and Pam Bondi, at the Supreme Court to hear the oral arguments.
Excellent point, Sandra, about the timing, because
that is exactly all of this shit is tied together. Actually, the sequence of these events.
So podcast listeners right now, they're walking out of the Supreme Court, it looks like, together, and he's like, here, come get in my car with me. We're just gonna do small talk, right?
Maybe that's when Trump.
One thing you said is maggots in the chat. One thing I notice about maggots is they don't like to hop up on panels, and they don't like to show their face. They don't like people to know who they are. They basically hide while they support Trump. They claim they support Trump, but they don't really support Trump, because a real supporter would stand up for themselves. Show they wouldn't be scared, you know. So don't worry about the trolls. Let them in. They help drive the algorithm. More people end up coming into the chat. So that's why I leave it open. But listen, here it is again. I'll put this in the link. Here you go. For anybody that wants to hop up, any MAGA supporter, if they're not scared, go ahead and hop up. No problem. What do you want me to give you a Cash App or something? You want $5 to hop up? Can I buy you a sandwich?
Finally made up his mind, because it looked he had to leave that oral argument thinking that he's going to take a loss on what is one of his core central policy agendas in immigration.
And there it is. So apparently the Supreme Court losses he's been getting contributed, I guess, to him firing her. But right here, he's saying, Pam, 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 Pam. To use an office quote, you are You're out. For what? Theft. I've never stolen as much as a sticky note. Well, you take home a sticky note, 50 cents a piece, you're making a serious margin.
This is stupid. I told you, dude is loud. He makes some funny ass jokes, man. This is hilarious.
It was Ryan's idea. Okay, sorry, I'm getting completely into reciting the Office thing. But yeah, so that was it. That was it. And it's not going to stop there, reportedly. I can't wait for this other thing showing you that. Let's just do it now. I think this was after the Supreme Court, he calls out Pam Bondi. He's like, you're my great friend. She's sitting there knowing she's about to be fired.
Attorney General Pam, my friend Pam Bondi. Hi,
Pam. Yo, I appreciate you, Curly. Yeah, I mean these people are they're frauds. See, you know the thing about it, Curly, is that there's nothing worse than being a fraud. There's nothing worse than being a fraud. And see, I could respect someone if they actually really stood on what they say. But I'm not going to respect anybody who's a fucking fraud. Get out of here. People hate frauds in real life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not walking around accepting fraud shit. Like, so stand on something. If you really support Trump, stand on it. Let people know who you are. What the fuck? Why are these people scared? You see what I'm saying? And you expect respect from me? No, it's never coming that way, because I don't respect people that just don't keep it real. It doesn't matter who you are. Keep it fucking real. You can at least be real. You know, like, I'm sorry, man, but you accept too much of that fraud shit. That really fucks up this society, man. You don't have to be fake. You can have issues with other people. You can have your feelings any way you want, right? But nobody's going to respect you if you're hiding behind a keyboard, yo. Nobody's going to respect that. I'm not going to respect it anyway. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of people hop up here, and there's always, even with people that I largely agree with on a lot, our conversations are not about do we agree? Our conversations is about finding out, what do we agree with? What do we think about certain topics? And what do we think about other topics that we don't agree with? That's what it's about. It's not about being fake or fraud. You see what I mean? So save all that shit. Also, there's a lot of Americans suffering because of Trump. There's a lot of people dying because of Trump. Man, I'm sorry, yo. This is serious. This is serious. This is not a fucking joke anymore. You see what I mean? Like, you go around supporting someone who hurts Americans on purpose, motherfucker, your ass is going to be in the line of fire too. Like, straight up, it's beyond playing any games anymore. This is life or death. You know, at this point, like, serious. The United States is going to sink or it's going to swim. But it ain't going to stay where it's at right now. It's in danger. And anybody capping for Trump may as well, I see you as the enemy. I see you as a person that wants our country to fall. So I think you should be dealt with like that. And I'm going to talk to you about it. Now, maybe you're just too stupid and you haven't considered some things. So I'm willing to have you up on the panel and try to reason with your bitch ass, because I understand I got great reasoning skills. That's why I'm here. But you're not going to stand on hatred and think you're just going to, like, have people respecting you. Oh, fuck no. If you're a bigot, I don't care what kind of bigot you are. If you're a person that's wishing for the downfall of our country, man, fuck you. Why should I respect you? Fuck all of that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no respect. You ain't getting no respect from me, man. You got to work. You got to earn it. You got to earn it. Sorry. Let's go.
Supreme Court. I didn't realize it's the first time in history that a president went to the Supreme Court.
So imagine that. You fire someone. They're devastated. It's not like other times where you've seen reports that someone decides, like Mike Waltz. You remember after that whole debacle? And then he's not whatever the position he was in anymore. It didn't seem like he was like, please, no. It's like he kind of understood. I was like, all right, I'll be the ambassador. And in this case, she actually was saying, no, I don't, please, 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 please. And then she has to go sit at an event with him And normally he goes, Pam's in the audience doing a great job. And instead he goes, my friend Pam, hi. And then licks his lips really weirdly. But that.
And then he says,
it's not.
I don't like her.
As notable. Here it is. Trump mulls more cabinet firings. He's very angry and he's going to be moving people. And the photograph that Mediaite uses that gives you a hint is a man by the name of Howard Lutnick. Maybe.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question, especially to your bitch ass Trump supporters. Did Trump do the right thing by firing Pam Bondi? Put a 1 in the chat if Trump did the right thing. Put a 2 in the chat if he did the wrong thing. I'm going to put a 1 in the chat because I think he did the right thing. Let me know. Do you think he did the right thing or do you think he did the wrong thing? Jethro tells us 3. Okay. I think he did the right thing. Fuck Pam Bondi. Why not fire her? I'm happy. Hey, I agree with you, Trump. If you fire some more people, you might get me to vote for you. Fire J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, just fire them all. Howard Lutnick, you know what I'm saying? You fire them all, you get my support. Come with it. Of course, I don't see any bitch asses replying. I don't know where they are, but I'm waiting.
Maybe he'll be next on the chopping block. President Donald Trump may not be done terminating cabinet members. Hours after Attorney General Pam Bondi was shown the door on Thursday, Politico reported that...
Yeah, Stephen Miller. Yeah, exactly. Please, Trump. Come on. Trump, you know Stephen Miller's jealous of you, man. He wants your job. Did you know that? You need to fire his bitch ass.
Trump may have his sights on Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick next, and then the Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRimmer. And the Labor Secretary was the one that we talked about, the reports where she was accused of bringing her Labor Department subordinates to a strip club and keeping booze in her desk. And you remember I was like, don't bring your subordinates to
Sean Tweed. Sounds like a phony name. But what state do you live in and who's your healthcare provider?
A strip club, but who doesn't have booze in their desk? Not me, but you know what I'm saying?
He said, who doesn't have booze in their desk? Yeah, that's what we got. Waging war. We got the Secretary of War is a drunk who's firing everyone who has more experience than him because his ego is so small, he can't stand to look like a jackass, even though he is. Okay, so he has to fire people that say, hey, Pete, that was the dumbest shit I ever heard, ever. If you're fired, don't ever say that to me. Don't ever fucking call me dumb. And he's just firing general after general after general after general.
So she got in some hot water because of that. Howard Lutnick's been on thin ice ever since he went out and said, I told my wife we're never going to see Jeffrey Epstein ever again after that one time in 2005 at 6. And then he ended up hanging out with Epstein all the time after that was caught in a big ole lie. The other interesting aspect to this is that Jeanine Pirro, this one, the former Fox host, Judge Jeanine.
Another drunk ass, Jeanine Pirro. I mean, did they go to an AA meeting and just hire these people? You're hired. You drink? Good. Perfect. You'll be drunk at work. You're the exact person I want.
Who talks like this all the time?
Did you know that Jean Pirro, you know why? One of the reasons why she got fired from her job, she was whatever she held some position in the state she's from. I think it's New Jersey or New York, one of those places, right? I think it was New Jersey, I believe. Let me know what state she was from. But she tried to get the DA to investigate her husband, and you know why she wanted the DA to investigate her husband? It's because her husband was cheating on her. That was it. I mean, she literally tried to get the DA to wiretap. She asked the the DA, I think it was the DA or assistant DA, one of them, to wear a wire and go in and talk to her husband. That's how unserious this lady is. That's how unserious she is. And what did Trump do? Hired her. That sounds great.
She's
a loser. This lady is a loser. She's not serious about the work at all. You know how many people she tried to prosecute the guy who hit the ICE person with a sandwich. She tried to charge him with a federal crime for hitting the ICE agent with a sandwich in his face. It was a Subway sandwich, right? Everybody remembers that. The guy in D.C. who who just walked up to the ICE dude and was like, "Here's the sandwich, man," and started screaming at him, and it was just like, boom, and hit him right in the face. She tried to charge him with federal charges, and nobody would indict him. No, the grand jury refused to indict the sandwich man twice. That's how petty this lady is. Okay.
It's reportedly part of the reason. Hey, Pam, come here. Turn around. Oh, there's a knife in your back. She put a knife in Pam's back. Is what I'm seeing what I'm hearing on the Hill.
Oh shit. She put a knife, and so she's been dissing Pam, but that makes perfect sense. Let me see here. Yeah. Anyone, if you do me a favor, if you're listening from your TV, hit the like button. I appreciate it. It helps the stream go up. Anybody else watching, hit the like button for me. I appreciate that very, very much. Excuse my language today. I've been cursing a lot more than but listen, this is YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a real person, and I do, when I'm having conversations with dumbasses, I might start cursing at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got all day for this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I have a busy day. I don't know if you noticed. I got a lot of shit going on. Before, I was at work. I came home. I worked an hour on some arrangements, and then I started my podcast. Then when I finish my podcast, I'm going to make my lunch. Then I'm going to go to sleep, wake up later. So I have a lot of things on my agenda. So I tend to, when I see people that are unserious, you know what I mean? It kind of brings that side out of me. You know what I'm saying? My pops definitely didn't like ignorant. My pops ain't like ignorant. And my pops was the type of person that if you just seemed kind of said some stupid things, ignorant things, he could make you feel pretty bad for just being stupid and not being serious, more so. Not, people don't always know everything, but at least try. You know what I'm saying? Try. And it's a shame if you're a grown person who's not serious about life. That's a shame. Have fun, but don't be silly. Know where to be serious and what to be serious about. Politics is serious. Voting is serious. This is your lifeline. You pay taxes to these congressional and senators and the president's office, the cabinet, the government, the Supreme Court. Every day you lift a finger to earn $1. If you pay taxes, part of that dollar goes to them. Take it serious. Take it serious. There was a war over taxation without representation. That means people expected something for their taxes. You should too. You should be serious enough to expect something back from your taxes. Really, I'm serious.
Which is, I gotta say that more often. What I'm hearing from my sources on the Hill is that Judge Jeanine wants to be
facts, Ryan. Exactly, Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
The Attorney General, and so she was mouthing Pam Bondi to Trump. Jeanine Pirro was allegedly bad-mouthing Pam Bondi behind her back as part of a
I knew Luke Beasley would have the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Some of this Washington insider stuff. So, damn, we're getting real good.
Desperate bid to replace her as Attorney General. Sources told the outlet that Judge Jeanine left her nearly $3 million a year job, not just to be the D.C. U.S. Attorney, but ultimately.
Wait a second. Let me blow that up. It appears, am I sensing that they don't like each other in this photograph? Like, let me just see something. Let me make this bigger. I want to see. They don't look. They're not looking at each other at all. Look at this. Yeah. I guess they don't actually like each other. That's interesting.
Ultimately to climb up the ladder and become attorney general. The judge is very close to the president, talks to him all the time, and she'd been trying to put the knife in Bondi, saying she's not a prosecutor and doesn't have control over the building. So this might be a part of why it happened. There's different people who had reasons they want. I also saw Alina Habba was trying to become the attorney general, so she's one of the people.
Yo, facts. Listen, it's facts what you're saying. No Jethro Tull. You're right. Change starts local. And that's what I'm saying. Anyone can complain about now, I do talk about the congressional members, senators, Supreme Court, president. I talk about them often. But here's the thing about it. If you don't like them and you're voting, if you're an active voter and you don't see people that you like, you know what that means? That means it's your time to go out and do community building. It's your time to do work. That's what that means. You need to go out in your own community and take some census. Find out what's missing. Find out what other people in your community think and feel. You see what I mean? That's all it takes. And often there's a correlation between not being active in your own community and not knowing who the hell to support in the broader federal government. You see what I'm saying? In elections. There seems to be a correlation between those two things. People that don't care who's being elected locally and people that don't care, on the federal level. So my advice is it's okay to complain, but play a role. Vote. Fine. Play a role in your local politics. Even if it's not voting, run for office if you think you can do better. Do it. Learn something about the process. And the reason why I say that, although I'm not a Danish citizen, I live in Denmark, and I've been living here for some time. But here's the thing: when there's things that I don't like, I go out in the community and I do something. I organize some demonstrations here with fellow Americans about Trump, a few times. But not only just about Trump, I've organized some demonstrations about the population of Afro-Danes here in Denmark, right? Just about the actual rights according to the conversation with the UN. You see what I mean? And spreading awareness, not spreading awareness like a little bitch ass. You see what I mean? But spreading awareness where it counts, like doing surveys, polling the people, writing reports about the group of people, organizing meetings to actually actively hear what people's issues were. Real grassroots work. I got a book written about my work. Like, I'm serious. And although most people that know me know that I'm a funny guy, I like to laugh it up. I'm a pretty chipper dude. When it comes to doing the work, y'all, I ain't about all that bullshit, man. Be serious. And if you're not serious, learn from serious people. Be smart enough to at least learn from people that know how to do something. Yeah. Don't be a nobody. Don't be a nobody.
On the list. So now that Pirro is in the headlines, you go, what's the deal with Jeanine Pirro? Well, now you got her ex-roommate coming out and saying Janine's crazy, which shocking. My solution? Bomb them is the famous quote from Jeanine Pirro. And you have this report. Jeanine Pirro, the former Fox News host and current U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, is now among the leading candidates to succeed Pam Bondi. Her ex-roommate has a lot to say about her.
Wow, this shit is getting spicy. Yo, let me put this text on the screen so everybody can see it. This shit is getting spicy. Let me see here. Let me read some of the comments. Let me see. Turquoise BDS says, the vipers in the pit will turn on each other. I do believe you. You are absolutely correct. It shows you a little about their character too. In groupings of people in organization, this kind of dynamic is not a positive one. You see what I mean? But when you have people of certain kinds of character, this is what it turns out to be. They don't get things accomplished. They turn against each other. They miss the goal. But these are a bunch of incompetent, corrupt people. So, yeah, they're going to turn on each other. And I myself have believed that that's always what was going to happen in the end. Of course, Trump makes it really obvious because he just turns on anybody. And Trump is an expert abuser. He knows how to use them and abuse them, like Rick James said. I used to use them and abuse them. What song was that? Yeah, that love song he wrote. I forget the name of it. But yeah, Trump knows how to use them and abuse them. And for some reason, there's some kind of people that have this personality or character trait that don't mind stepping in the picture when they see a person like that. They never think that it would end up being them used and abused. But when they see a user and abuser like Trump, the first thing they think is, maybe I can get something out of it. Maybe I can get ahead myself, hence the trap. But Trump knows when you take the bait, now he got your ass. Now he's going to abuse you the whole time. He's going to use you. And when he's done using you, he's going to throw you out in the trash. And you got to know that this lady, not just Pam Bondi, but the lady next to her in that picture, Pirro, she definitely getting tossed out with the trash. Like totally, 100%. When you hire corruptible people and people that have already had a corrupt past, it's easy to control them. That's the whole point in doing it, So, yeah, that's my thoughts, though.
I don't know why this outlet, I think the New York Magazine did this deep dive into the roommates' stories about living with Janine. Apparently.
Oh, Kevin said another dumb Trump hater. Oh, we got another dumbass dick rider, Trump dick rider. Wow, you feel like a man, Kevin? Wow, man, that's embarrassing. My advice, get off Trump's nuts. You deserve better. And what state do you come from? And who's your health care provider, bitch?
Working on a book together. So Janine had her move in, the friend, that is DiPaolo.
Bet you can't afford your health care.
So DiPaolo is the friend, into Pirro's basement. And instead of being like friends who live together.
Bet you can't afford your health care, Kevin, can you? No, but you're a bitch, so you're used to that. Oh, well, I'm still going to support for Trump. I bet she's going to say, I voted for Trump 3 times. Like a bitch.
And are working on a book together. And then DiPaolo sued Janine because maybe she took the book or something. Not a situation I'm familiar with. But instead...
I ain't gonna hop your ass up on your dumbass channel, man. Fuck that panel. I ain't gonna hop your ass up there. Yeah, I bet you he won't hop up on the panel either. Right. I know. I figured it out already. Scared jackass.
DiPaolo.
Do you have a picture? Is there a picture on your profile, or do you just fight over the internet with words? Do you have a real personality, a real identity, or are you just hiding with your opinion?
Was treated
like a biatch.
Kind of like an assistant. To Pirro, and that cited her. But there's something
Trump derangement syndrome. I'm gonna hide. I ain't gonna show him. Why should I show him my face and who I am, man? I gotta protect. I got too much to. I don't want nobody coming and attacking me.
That I'm like, why are these in here? When she was getting her makeup done, DiPaolo says Pirro would pat around the house wearing nothing but panties, high heels, and stick.
I think Kevin wished Trump hired him so he could get used and abused by Trump. He must have one of those character flaws. Let me see here. When she was getting her makeup done, DiPaolo says Pirro would pad around the house wearing nothing but panties, high heels, and these little stickers that she put on her nipples, which DiPaolo found amusing. But her stay turned out to be less than comfortable. Less than a comfortable experience. DiPaolo had to deal with the mice in the basement and herself since Pirro was trying to sell the house. 7 guns stashed around, which DiPaolo recalls Pirro saying, they're all loaded. Pirro bearing... Oh, I bet you Kevin's going to defend this shit too. It's her right to bear arms. Okay, we know. DiPaolo recalls Pirro saying, we're all loaded. Pirro bearing her from touching the Fiji water in the pantry, saying it was for guests only. And Pirro obsessed with keeping household expenses down. Woo! Yeah. Trump saved her life, man. Her life wasn't shit before Trump came into it. Like, seriously. She also, I said this before, but it's worth repeating. She tried to get the DA to wiretap her husband because her husband was cheating on her. Instead of divorcing her husband for cheating, she's the kind of woman that wanted to hang around and try to what she think she was going to stop him from cheating? Oh my God, she tried to stop him from cheating. Okay, well Kevin says he's 12, so I'm gonna Kevin, you can't be on my channels for adults. Sorry about that. So you should reconsider. It's only adults that can be here, man. Sorry about that, but yeah, you should know that. He's like, I'm 12. Yeah, man, you better go to bed, man. It's too. What the hell are you doing in here? Follow the law, okay? First of all, okay, worst of all was the Paolo started to feel like the help. They were numerous times, she said, when Piero asked her to clean up the dog feces. God damn, this lady's living like this? To clean up the dog feces deposited by Piero's enormous poodles. My dog, when they poop, it's like sick. Piero tells me, oh my. Anyway, okay, well, damn. This is why I like Luke Beasley, because, I mean, he does some of this raunchy shit from now and then and just dives right into the dirt on people. And that's worth knowing, because everybody ain't got a cat like that. I mean, an animal like that. I got a cat. My cat basically behaves, you know. Sometimes it's craving attention and stuff like that. That's normal, but sometimes I feel like my cat is just watching my ass all the time. But outside of that, you know, you can't have poodles shitting all over your crib, yo. This is ridiculous, man. This is terrible. But that's what's going on. So she's got a job in law enforcement. Yeah, she couldn't handle her husband cheating, and her poodles are shitting all over her crib, and she's a drunk. And you got people that vote, people like somebody else. I don't even know, Kevin. Why is he 12 years old? You know, talking about Trump. He can't even vote. I don't think that's the truth. But you still have people out here capping for these people, and it's like I don't get it, because when an orderly, serious, organized person tries to explain things to people, how shit works, they just don't want to get it. They just don't grasp it. You know, it's sad, but you really have to be dumb to continue to be supporting Trump. Like, what's wrong with people? I really don't get it. But in any case, now that we saw that, there was one other one. Let me see here. Yes, let's go back over to the Epstein files real quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here after that. I appreciate everybody for coming out to the stream. Hey, man, I know I curse a little bit, but don't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's not. I don't do it I don't do it all the time, but sometimes, you know, I don't want to feel like I have to pretend. You know, I don't want to, and to be honest, you know, the way people communicate over the net, it just makes me like, yo, there's no way you're going to communicate with me in real life like that. So I just decided I'm going to give people back a little bit of themselves, you know, since they enjoy my chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to, and that's just how it is. You know, I have a difficult respecting people that don't respect themselves and others. You see what I mean? So, a lot of these MAGA folks are not serious. And so I'm serious about things. I don't have time to waste. And it's not out of being stingy with my time, but I preserve my time for my kids, right? Outside of my kids, I don't have time to waste. So the things that I do and I like to contribute to are change. So I'm doing this podcast to support my fellow Americans, because I want them to understand you ain't got to take this shit. Stop listening to legacy media. You are getting robbed. And take it from an American citizen born and raised in Washington, D.C., whose family on both sides goes back to the colonial period. Take it from me. I live outside of the U.S. I'm telling you the real deal. You are getting robbed. There's no reason for it. Everyone outside of the U.S. that lives in the Western countries doesn't understand why you're doing it the way you do it. Like, it's just that simple. You have to understand that. You see, you are getting robbed. and you deserve better. I know it. I would never submit to being treated like that again. I would never submit to that. You see what I'm saying? I don't even have to. Secondly, not only would I not submit to that treatment, you see what I mean? I don't have to, because I'm more clever than that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just encouraging Americans to say, hey, if you're going to be in America, start demanding more from all of them, from the ground up. Start demanding more. Like, end this bullshit. No matter if you're white, no matter if you're black, no matter what your heritage is, stand together on basic Western principles. Education for all, health care for all, fair housing, and a decent wage, a full-time wage that allows you to live within proximity, a half an hour distance from where you work. Okay? Workers' rights. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Affordable. Why is my goddamn phone, my phone is it cost me, my phone cost me about between $14 and $20 a month. 100 gigabytes internet a month, which I don't even use. I only use like maybe 20. And unlimited text messages, unlimited phone calls, and 5-6 hours European calls all across Europe, right? Why is my phone service only $20, even under $20? Why is that? Why is the same phone service $180, $100 in the U.S.? Why is that? Why is that? Why do you just go along with that? It's one thing to have it that way, but it's always been that way. Why? Why has it always been so expensive in the U.S. for just utilities? Why? Why? And what is that a sign of? That's a sign of people aren't doing the right things. The government is not doing the right thing. The government is not looking out for the safety and the quality of life of its people. It's just not in the United States of America. And somebody that cares about the country has to say it. You see what I mean? So no matter what you think about the information or what you think about me, understand I took the time to actually make it plain so that there's no excuse for anyone not understanding the message. I'm not over intellectualizing it. I'm not speaking a language you can't understand. I'm not even going to the academic level because I can speak that language also. I'm speaking it for the poor, the underclass, the middle class who have to work every day and fucking don't have the time to fucking be polite about it all the fucking time. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, the lawmakers are doing well in the U.S. They got the best dental service. Their kids go to private school. Their mortgage is taken care of, man. Shit, living in brick houses and all kinds of, fancy shit going on, and you pay for them. You pay for that. You deserve better. You deserve better. You pay for them to live a better life. What is this? And when I come to the United States of America again, as an American citizen, I'm not going to be asking to get in. I'm going to be saying, shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of my way. That's at customs. And then when I get inside, I'm going to go all around the motherfucking country in my little rent-a-cars. I'm going to drive all the way Chicago, Arizona, LA, Maine. I'm going to go to Maine too. I'm going to go to goddamn, where else? To Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to hit up a lot of places, and then I'm going to drive my ass to Canada too. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to go through there, and I'm going to be going to places, people that come to my podcast, people that invite me to their town. I'm going to come and have a good old time. I'm going to come and have a good old time. You see what I'm saying? And continue to do the same things because we don't have to sit down for this type of tyranny. We don't have to. We need to look out for each other. All of our backgrounds. We know the history of our country. We need to look out for each other together. That's the right thing to do. You see, that's how you get maximum potential out of our country. If we don't learn how to do that and we keep getting into this divisive shit and we let people like Trump and politicians play us on the division, we never going to have affordable health care. We never going to have affordable education. We never going to have a fair shake at anything. You see what I mean? So we need to get busy with that. So I'm saying it. I got my face out here. I don't give a fuck what Trump thinks. I don't give a fuck what Kash Patel thinks. I don't give a fuck what Pam Bondi thinks. I don't give a fuck what any of them think. They can't do a motherfucking thing about anything I'm fucking saying because it's the fucking truth. That's why. You see what I'm saying? And it is very likely, more likely than not, that some nasty things are going to be exposed about Trump from them Epstein files. Is more likely than not, more nasty things. So, and if you don't like it, sue me. You got to release the files, bitch. Release the files, motherfucker. You want to prove me wrong? Release the files. If I'm lying, prove me wrong. You got to prove me wrong. Otherwise, you don't get a penny. You see? So, let me deal with these Epstein files and then I'm out of here. I appreciate everybody that supports my stream. Thank you so much. And let's continue. Jesse James says, thanks, Turd. Okay, thank you, you little stupid bitch. What state do you live in, stupid bitch? And what is your health care? Who's your health care provider, you stupid bitch? Or are you too dumb to have any? Let's go.
There were banking records flagged for one of the guards that were suspicious involving cash transactions. We do not know to this day whether that relates back to the Epstein case or something else. But that would go to questions about whether there were a link, and you'd want to investigate that. Reading from the Miami Herald, the investigators did look at one of the guards' financial history, including a guard named Noel, whose bank statements showed thousands of dollars in cash deposits, some flagged by her bank, JP Morgan, as suspicious.
Oh, one more thing. I advise anybody in the chat, it's best to get Discord on your phone. If you don't mind, it's best to get that because that means on any particular stream and if you want to hop up and say something, you don't have to spend any time installing it. It's already installed. All you got to do is switch over and you're in the live. So there's the link again for folks that's looking to hop up in the future. I appreciate y'all. And listen to me. Trust me 100% when I say this. I don't care what your quote unquote ethnicity what type of American ethnicity you are. I have respect for all American ethnicities. I do, because I'm an intelligent person. Okay. I get around. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not fooled. We're all human beings. We're all deserving of understanding and respect, right? We're all deserving of that, especially on the basic level that we're all Americans. We need to stop being so judgmental towards each other, and we need to come further, get rid of these phobias. You see what I mean? Don't let the phobias box people into corners. You know what I mean? And I'm a person where I just say these things openly because it's easier for your actions to follow when you're just very clear about it. That's why I say it. I'm very clear about what I'm saying so that you can expect my behavior to be the same. I don't care what color you are, what gender you are, or any of these other type of things. I don't care. I just want to get along with people and make the United States a safe country for all of us to live in and for our grandchildren to live in, a respectable country, the country it should be. That's it. And I'm willing to work with anybody that wants to make the country respectable for every American. I'm willing to work with anybody and respect anybody that wants all Americans to have health care. Period. No exceptions. I'm willing to work with anybody that wants all Americans to have access to whatever education they need. That's what I'm about. Jesse's he's a dumbass. He doesn't want Jesse, who's your health care provider? What state do you live in? Let us know how well you're doing, Jesse. Are you a billionaire, Jesse? You part of the billionaire class? Or are you part of the broke ass class? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you're part of the broke ass class. Put a 2 in the chat if you're part of the billionaire class, Jesse. Just you. Only you, Jesse, okay? Because you're only one of them. There's no other options for you. You either a billionaire or you're a broke ass.
He also decided to lease a Land Rover January
Can I buy you a sandwich, Jesse? Can I buy you a sandwich?
2019. She had 12
Hey, don't be afraid to take handouts, Jesse. Come on now. Don't be afraid, man.
cash deposits, Tova Knoll.
Don't be ashamed. Everybody needs some help sometime.
In April 18 and July 19 that were flagged.
I'm gonna see Jesse outside with a sign that's like, "I'll work for 10 cents. I'll work for money. I'll work for a sandwich." Okay, Jesse, got you, man.
We now have not only that report, but the fact that the feds looked at that and said, is there a link here? Remember, those feds weren't investigating everything under the sun. They're investigating this Epstein case. So to take it all together here, this has been a little bit lengthy in going through the details. I just want to summarize and say, okay, what's the point of all this?
Somebody,
well,
hold on, who said this? Yo, Humble Dip said Jesse is part of the fucktard class. Exactly. Jesse, do you have front teeth? What's going on, man?
The point is that at a minimum, there was evidence of document destruction that other independent parts of the government took seriously as a potential crime.
Exactly, Lisa Lee. Exactly. Jesse gives blowjobs for chips. There he is out there. Get on the corner again, Jesse. Damn, Jesse. Come on, man. You need a rehab or what, boy? Come on.
One.
What if
Jesse's out there doing the hard work, man. I tell you. Whew, the hard jobs, man. No one else can handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's helping, he's solving the Iranian war and all of that shit. He's an expert. Let's go.
As this all heated up, people on the inside had
Jesse's going to make sure the Epstein files are released.
reason to believe and worry. They were concerned that the cover-up went higher than just, say, one or two people at this jail, that it went into other aspects of DOJ, and that the internal review might not actually deal with the problems. Number three, that whole watchdog system I mentioned, the Office of Inspector General, that's not criminal prosecutors. You can think of that as HR for the Justice Department. And there could be consequences. People can get fired. People can lose their pensions. I could point you to those reports that might have mattered, but they don't go at crime. So as soon as it's over in that area of the watchdog, they're kind of saying, hey, this looks like you messed up at work, not you're part of a obstruction of justice crime or you're part of some other criminal conspiracy. Fourth, we have other reports that Epstein habitually used and abused money, power, and information on his own behalf, on both his crimes and the cover-up of his crimes. So when you already have that history, when you talk about a theory or a motive, that makes it more suspicious, more concerning to investigate whether that's happening at this jail. And so the question of how a guard was getting money and why they were suddenly destroying documents raises that. Then there's fifth, Epstein's death itself. I have a much longer, meticulous report with a timeline on the death you can look at if you want to focus on that. This only adds to that picture in the sense that it shows that the problems we identified and that have been seen in the days leading up to the death and right after, including the ransacking of what could have been a crime scene. They didn't take DNA or evidence inside the cell, which would have been useful.
What?
Evidence around before the actual investigators could get there. So to this day, they've never determined what the actual noose was that he died with. Those problems look worse when you add this shredded evidence.
Yeah. So they didn't follow the law. From my understanding, even when it's a death is suspected to be a suicide, they're supposed to also investigate it as a possible murder at the same time. That's my understanding of it. Now let me just pull something up real quick. Oh, I forgot one thing, y'all. I did find that Iranian thing. I think I did, but 2 seconds were videos of the statue. Ooh, Statue of Liberty being attacked. Damn. But let me just check something out real quick. Let me go to this one, new chat. And let me find out about that. Okay. Yeah.
So if you want to look at this the way investigators try to, and this is how I'll conclude, you could say, one, a bunch of errors, mistakes, coincidences, and malfeasance, but that's all it was. And that happens in poorly funded jails that have other problems and corruption. That would be door number one. Door number two would be there was some kind of corruption related to all this that was being covered up, and people had reasons to cover it up, but that doesn't change.
So I'm right. It says the short answer is yes. In the United States, let me pull this up also, and let me pull. Where's my video at? Is my camera on? Where is that at? Right here? Right. And let me turn the camera on. It says that the short answer is yes. In the United States, death investigation protocols generally dictate that any unattended or violent death, including suspected suicides, should be treated with the same level of scrutiny as a potential homicide until proven otherwise. So you're not to stumble into a suicide and assume that it's a suicide. Even if you suspect it's a suicide, you're supposed to operate as if it could possibly be a murder until otherwise proven not to be. So, in other words, a suicide is supposed to be investigated as a murder until otherwise. Now, right. So while it might seem redundant or even insensitive to grieving families, the presumptive approach is a critical safeguard in the justice and public health system. Yeah. The homicide proven otherwise rule. See what I'm saying? So in this case, they didn't actually do that. You see? They didn't actually do that. And that's crazy. So in other words, they didn't follow the law. You know, they didn't follow the law, basically. They didn't follow the norms, the norms and standards, you know? And there it is. That's shady as hell. That's almost like saying it's a cover-up. You know? I mean, it looks like a cover-up, basically, you know? Yo, I appreciate that. Nohidaya, I appreciate that. Did I say your name right? Nohidaya. Yo, I appreciate that. Yo, where you from, by the way? Let me know where you from. Nurhi, is it okay if I call you that? Nurhi, let me know where you from. What country you from, or what city you from? And yeah. So I get a good understanding because I know I got different listeners. But I appreciate you listening because no matter what country you're from, people need to understand how Americans feel right now about Donald Trump and the actions of the government under his leadership. You know what I'm saying? People need to understand that we're not all the same. All Americans are not the same, and we don't agree on all. Malaysia, there you go. We don't all agree on the same things. You know, we have different views on how to do things. And big up to Malaysia, by the way. And so I'm glad to be out here because I know a lot of people from other countries are listening. And the good thing about it is that at least you all are aware enough of American vernacular, how we speak, what real Americans are like. So when you see me and you hear me talking, you know that, you basically are secure in knowing that, wait a second, this guy's actually a real American speaking about this topic. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm here, because I don't want there to be any, there's no room for misunderstanding anymore. You know what I mean? The ones of us that disagree with Trump, we need to speak up, and because he's not only killing us, he's harming our families in the U.S. But he also hates you. Like he has bad intentions for Asia, like straight up, and it's wicked, you know. So just keep that in mind. He's not willing to work together with any Asian country. He sees Asian people as all the same. That's how Trump sees. He sees Africans all the same. Europeans all the same. You know, like, he groups people into these things that way. You see what I mean? So he doesn't understand nuances. He doesn't understand Russia and Ukraine aren't the same. He doesn't understand Russia and Western Europe are not the same. They don't have the same values. They don't have the same, goals in mind, right? The same views. You see what I'm saying? And, so just be aware of that, when you look at Trump's behavior. At least that's why I'm here. I want to go. I like to travel, and I like people to know my views personally, so you don't confuse me with somebody else's views. You know what I mean? There are a lot of Americans like me, and we definitely like to be a part of the world. We like to see the parts of the world, and we like to be seen to see you as an equal, as a fellow human being, someone that we can work together with, or someone that we can just have good times with, experiences with. You see what I mean? We're all humans, and that's where we need to go with this stuff. But right now, that's not what's in charge of our government right now. So
change necessarily the core events, that this individual was indicted, that they were awaiting trial, and that according to the government, the autopsy, that they took their life and hung themselves. So you could have the suspicious conduct, but still the same fact pattern.
Jesse James.
And door number 3, you see where we're going is...
Jesse James says he loves Trump and Vance. But let me ask you a question, Jesse James. How much do you love them? What would you do for that love? What would you actually do? Would you share your photo? Would you be proud enough to show your photo? To say, hey, or to hold up a sign, to do something to show your love for them? Or is it only in word alone, in chats here and there? Let me think. Does this look like a troll account? Do you think this is a real American? I don't think so. But just so we can make sure, let me put the link in, and just in case, I don't want to leave it in. And Jesse can hop up. Hop up, Jesse. Prove you're not a troll. Okay? Prove you're not a troll, Jesse. And, but I think you're a troll. So I don't know where you are. Be proud of who you are, man. Don't hide. Don't hide your ethnicity. Don't hide what country, your nationality. Don't hide your backwardness. Let us put a face to your dumb ass.
Looking at the
Let us put a voice to your ignorance.
idea that there was so much in the area of problems and cover-up and so many unanswered questions that you really have to open up whether there was foul play, whether the government underserved and hid evidence.
Look at this. Jesse says, I'm more American than you. I'm more American than you. Oh, really? I don't see how. Where is it at? I don't see nothing here that there's nothing that indicates that, Jesse. Nothing here. What are you talking about? How would I know that? Should I just believe you?
Because there was foul play, and you'd have to investigate. Again, we're not reporting this as a conclusion, but you'd have to investigate.
Jesse's like, I'm more American than you, man. Well, how come you didn't know YouTube? It didn't just start last year. Where the fuck you been? Just 1 year ago. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know about YouTube all this time? It's an American company. What the fuck? He's a more American than me, but he's just figuring out YouTube is an app, someplace you could go and get in people's chats and shit. Okay, thank you, Jesse. Newcomer to YouTube, Jesse.
Get in the third
welcome,
column.
Jesse. Everybody welcome Jesse. Yay, Jesse. Welcome to civilization. You finally hopped out from under your rock.
Which never really has been done by the U.S. government, as we can see. A more serious investigation of whether that contributed to possible foul play, and this individual did not actually take their own life. You would do a much more exhaustive forensic financial accounting of all these individuals. You would try to trace back who was paying them. Was it just quote unquote protection money, which you see in prisons, but doesn't mean someone was killed? Or were there larger transfers and sums of money? Did people change their life or career? Did people's families suddenly change where they had a government job for this long and now a lot of other things change? And does that relate back? This type of evidence is important for that process if you're ever going to have a full accounting. And you can imagine a future government administration picking a special counsel, just like you had Bob Mueller, who recently passed away, or Ken Starr back in the day, or Jack Smith. You could have a special counsel go look at all of this exhaustively. That's never happened, by the way.
Somebody said, who is that? Lisa Lee says, Jesse, leave those kids alone, please.
So that's what adds to all of this.
Yeah, Jesse, you and Epstein and Trump, man, you guys just leave the kids alone, please. America would be much better if you just submitted to that basic thing.
This video.
Hold on. Damn, what happened? Okay, I just want to see his timeline. He puts up a timeline and then I'm out of here. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. It's like 3 hours now. Listen, I got some excellent new music coming. I'm so proud of this music. It's how can I say this? It's the sound is a little different. I upgraded the sound. and it's for music for a wider audience. You know, the last project I worked on, it's for true hip hoppers, right? Golden era hip hoppers, you know, intellectual hip hoppers, right? Yeah, and but people that like some jazzy grooves. But this one, it's a lot more messaging in it that is more how can I say this? More universal, right? More universal messaging. And so I'm sure people are going to love it, and I just can't wait to play some of it. So I'm gonna, in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to do that. But just wanted to let people know, man, I'm so proud of this stuff. It's not all finished yet. I'm waiting for a couple of other songs to get finished. I have a lot of guests on this next project. This project got a lot of guests on it. Yeah, so that's the great thing about it. So the sound is a little different so it's out to reach a wider audience too. So
in the 3 million files is that while he was indicted there was a sex trafficking indictment of him at DOJ under the Bush Justice Department that was discarded. Now, we've heard a lot about the sweetheart.
Oh, Jethro, you said I should do a go-go documentary. I just might. Once I got my hometown DC documentary that's basically finished, and I'm just waiting now. Really, to be honest with you, I'm waiting for Trump's crazy bullshit to leave. You know what I'm saying? To get over with. People are stressed right now. I have a little bit about what's going on right now in it, right? But it is about growing up in DC. And also a lot of the artist community I'm lucky enough to know in DC, and also politicians, people that were in the civil rights movement and civil rights in DC, and also in politics, and also a few different things. So but a go-go documentary is definitely dope. Somebody's got to do it. There's elements of go-go in my documentary, but it's not a true go-go documentary in that way. But yeah, you're right, man. Somebody got to do it. And I'm an excellent editor. A lot of people don't know that. I'm really good at editing, but I would like to partner up with somebody on that. And I've talked to a few people about it before. You know, I can handle the workload for editing because I'm real fast and real savvy with editing. I've been editing for like maybe 30 years now. Like, that's a long time, right? 20 years. Sorry. 25 years I've been editing. You see what I mean? So I worked in DC for BET at one time. Also worked for another production house that does more political stuff for corporate videos. But I also got some friends that that do video for the DNC too, do camera work and shit like that in different companies, not just that. But I've been doing editing for a long time, So but in any case, listen, folks, I'm gonna stop right now. But thanks for reminding me about that, Jesse, and I appreciate the interest, man. I appreciate everybody. You saw some of the go-go some of the go-go clips. But a lot of people don't know this about go-go music. I mean, go-go have Pan-American influences. You have horns, you have guitars. Those instruments came to America by Europeans. Then it's fused and mixed with African percussions and rhythms. That's where you get the timbales. That's where you get the congos and the bongos. And all American music, Pan-American music tends to have some of these elements, particularly South America and in the United States and Central America. Salsa, calypso, and go-go are basically cousins. They're cousins. They use the same instruments. They just play them slightly differently depending on what the other influences are. Go-go tends to have more jazz, R&B influences, rhythm and blues influences, right, in it, and funk in it, fused in it, but they play the same instruments as like a typical salsa band. You know what I mean? So so hold on. Yo, man, let me listen. Somebody is crashing out. I see this guy, Jesse, is crashing out, man. Jesse, see you later, man. Have a good day, man. He's up here. He's having a hard time. Yeah. But in any case, they're actually cousins. And that's why I was putting up these shorts. As a matter of fact, let me close out on the shorts. That's a good idea. Let me go over to the shorts. Punk ass Jesse. See you later, Jesse. Okay. You can. He said something about somebody in there that was just too disgusting. I just couldn't have it, man. It's too much, man. He's taking it personal. But let me see here. I'll give you an example of what I mean. This is like go-go, and then I'm going to play some examples of calypso and salsa, and then you will see. By the way, I was in Colombia one time, and I went to some live salsa, see some live salsa bands, and oh my God. And you know what happened? I don't know if y'all know this. In the go-go, right? In a go-go, you look at the instruments, they have like cowbell, congos, all this shit, cowbell, shakers. Sometimes they have different instruments you pull out with your hands. But I was down in Colombia, and I went to a concert, and this reminded me, this is the closest experience, a salsa concert in a salsa club, a live band in a club. This was the closest experience I had to the go-go in my life. I could see it right then and there. And people, when the band started playing, people were jamming, right? But then I was with a few people, and one of the ladies I was with pulled out some a cowbell or some shit and started playing it out of her purse. But people were jamming. It was just like the go-go. We had a booth just like the go-go with our rum. What was it? Was it rum? Yeah, with our rum and drinks and all that shit. It was a crowd of us, right? We had a booth. It was booths all around, and but people just got up and started jamming, dancing, and everything, and it just reminded me so much of a go-go, right? So, but let me play a little bit of go-go, and then I'm gonna be out, and you all can see what I'm talking about. See, we use the same instruments, but we just play them a little differently, right? But they're the same instruments, so they have the same influences inside of it. So this is just going to give you an idea of it. Let's see here.
Hear this shit rock and rock. You hear this shit stomped up? Hey, stop. Hey, rock. Metro closed down. Hey, move. Hey, skillet move. Hey, 44, come on. Hey.
Yeah. All right. So that's an example of go-go, right? And same thing here. This band is Northeast Groovers. This is the band from my side of town I grew up in, and I grew up in Northeast. My teenage years is all from 15th and C Northeast. I went to Eastern High School, Spingarn Night School, McKinley Tech, right? And everybody from my, Capitol Hill, it's called, where I grew up is Capitol Hill East, 15th and C. So everybody from that part of town, we all know each other, and, pretty much. And if you don't know, I put it to you this way. Anybody that wants to know if I'm from 15th and C from that time period in the 80s and 90s, or a person that knows everybody that lives there and that would know the people I'm talking about. That's how you would know. You see what I mean? But having said that, this is go-go music, and go-go music is part of the Pan-American music, culture, right? And what is it based on? It's based on it has influences from Europe, the guitar, like I said, the horns, these kind of things. It has influences from Africa, right? Percussions and the congos, bongos, timbales, all of those things brought by different groups of people. And these things got fused. So it's a fusion music. You see what I mean? And in South America, it's expressed in one way. They have their way of fusion, right? And there's a couple of different forms of music based on the same instruments. And in the U.S., we have go-go. In D.C., but we have the same instruments. We borrow some of the same things. If you know calypso, it's very close to calypso. If you know go-go music, and it's also very close. It's a fusion of that with also funk. So it's like fusion funk, right? And it can go fast, it can go slow, right? But this band is over 30 years old. That's what makes go-go bands very unique. Go-go bands have the largest live catalog of American musicians across the country. That's something a lot of people don't know. The go-go musicians have the largest live catalog of any American music genre. Why? Because it's all live, and they record every time they play live, and the bands play for like 30 years. So that band is 30 years old. This band, Northeast Groovers, is 30 years old, right? So they've been playing the whole time. What you saw is a clip from maybe like 5 years ago, but this is a clip from like 20 years ago right here. Same people, 20 years before. You see what I mean? So here we go.
Hey, Big Daddy, I said the street full, let me chill. Hey, Big Daddy, I said the street full, let me chill. That ain't fast enough, Smoke. That's too slow. Speed it up.
My soul, wanna get lost in your rock and roll.
You got smoke? No smoke? Hey, Smoke, can you still do my favorite part, Smoke? Hey, Smoke, can you do my favorite part? Put it in the pocket and do my part. Put it in the pocket. You got smoke? Hold it, damn it, Jeff.
You're right. So, yeah, I mean, that's an example of go-go, but this is the same band. This is like 20 years later. Same band. So go-go bands, they play longer than most bands because their history is like 20, 30-year span, every go-go band. and they record every performance, which could be 2-3 times a week for 30 years. So you see what I'm saying? Like, seriously, we talking about with crowds. 1,000, 2,000 people, each time, right? Sometimes even more, right? But let me go back a little. Let me see. Hold on. This is go-go from this is also maybe 25. This might be 30 years ago, this right here. This is Rare Essence right here. But go-go itself is 50 years old. So it's been around for 50 years. And the godfather of go-go, his name is Chuck Brown. Rest in peace, Chuck Brown. They have a Chuck Brown Day in D.C. every official day. But Chuck Brown, you might know the song by Nelly that is like, what is it called? It's getting hot in here. Da, 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 da. They took the beat from Chuck Brown. Actually, to make that. So they took the beat from a go-go song, but that's typical. A lot of rap music takes a lot of music from go-go. They sample a lot of it, right? But this is an example of the Pan-American influence, right?
Where you wanna go? Come on, Godfather.
Yeah, that's a little Benny on the vocals. Where you wanna go? Where you wanna go? That's a little Benny. Rest in peace, little Benny. When he also played with Rare Essence. He had his own band, but he also played with Rare Essence too. Call her on the phone when you think she's all alone. What do you do when you're home doing nothing? And the thing about go-go is when you grow up in D.C., this is how you know if somebody's born and raised in D.C. because everybody knows all these songs. They play these songs for 20 or 30 years. You see what I mean? So these songs are embedded in your brain, a lot of the things. You see what I mean? A lot of them. Not all of them, but they have the ones that are. You know what I mean? So this is one of them. Now here the Timbales, check this out, or the Rototons. Watch this. Live horns. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody on the happy feet. Here go the Rototons coming up. Watch this. One more time. Here we go. Watch this. Hit the breakdown. I mean, yeah, this song is like damn near. This song is about 30 years old right here. So this is 30 years ago. But this the same band, right? Hold on. Hold on. What? Let me go back. Did they remove one of these joints? Because I put up one that was from 40 years ago, and that one shows you the progression of go-go. So it has the same instruments, but it sounds like it has more funky vibes in it, more disco-y vibes at that time. You see what I mean? But it's the same band. So these bands play for a long ass time. You see what I mean? And so that's part of the culture of DC, and that's what we have in connection with Central America, South America particularly. You know, a lot of people don't realize that, but when you travel, you know you see these influences, you know. And we don't teach it enough, but young people should know more about this, you know what I mean? Because there is something called Pan-American culture too. You know what I mean? And that's important to understand American culture through the lens, and it's something to be to understand, because it makes you clever, right? It's not cool to be stupid. You know what I mean? It's actually cool to be aware of where you are, your surroundings, and not just the country you live in, but the continent you live in. You see what I mean? And its history. You see what I mean? We're not void of connections and interconnections with other Americans. It's part of our history. You see what I mean? And there's other forms of music, man. There's folk music, right? I don't know how many of you know folk music, but you know my pops knew how to play the guitar, the folk guitar, the acoustic guitar. You see what I mean? And his buddies from that time period, a couple of them, they always could get together and just jam on their acoustic guitars and sing some folk songs, sing some blues songs. You see what I mean? Like seriously, I'm not bullshitting you, because the folk guitar has a history in Denmark. It has a history in America, and one of the reason why they call it the folk guitar is the acoustic guitar is because you could sit in a group of people, a circle, and you could have just that one instrument, and that one instrument could be your melody, it could be your drum, boom, you could bang on it and get some sound out of it. You know, you can get some percussion out of the acoustic guitar. You see what I mean? So this is the shit you got to know. Now, if you don't know these kind of things, you know, it seems like they may not be necessary, but actually they are, because it shows how you're related to other people, and it shows that you're a part of that relation. You're a part of the progression. When you don't know these things, it's like being illiterate. You can't read the signs on the wall. You can't read the signs in the street. It's like not knowing what's going on. It's like not speaking a language. You don't know what anyone's saying. You know, it's the same thing. You know, you don't know where to fit in. You know what I'm saying? You need to check Billy Strings. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Is he a folk musician? Or what? What is it? What kind of music is he making? This is another example of go-go, and then I'm going to be out. But I appreciate that Jethro Tull for mentioning that to me. This is another example. So go-go got two main lines that all bands play. One that is rotaton heavy. One that's like that. Backyard Band does a lot of that. and then the other one that's Congo, down, the downbeat Congo stuff, right? And then in each line, they have many different variations that they play within that. So the more you know about go-go, the more you know how they do it. But it's many variations, but those are the two main lines. And like Backyard Band, Sauce is the Congo player, and he's the Rototom player. So Sauce, he plays both. He switches back and forth. And Smoke, the Congo player from Northeast Groovers, doesn't do that. They have who the hell playing Tim? Who the hell played Rototoms for Northeast Groovers? Damn, I forget his name. I'm so bad at names too, but he been playing the whole damn time. But I think it's damn. But in any case, then there's other bands. There's Junkyard Band. There's Trouble Funk. Trouble Funk is an old band. A lot of people know their hit "Pump Pump 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 Me Up." Grandmaster Flash and them sampled that joint. KRS-One sampled "Let's Get Small." Dun 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 dun. Criminal Minded, You Been Blinded. The KRS sampled Trouble Funk. LL Cool J sampled "Pump Me Up" too, or one of Trouble Funk's song. Rock the Bells. Boom 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 boom. That's Go Go. That they sampled. So, but to give you an idea, this is one other thing I'm gonna play. Yeah, this is Backyard Band. Backyard Band been playing 30 damn years. They're young in the go-go sphere, but they took over basically. They didn't take over, but at one time they was running shit. Now it's back with Northeast and Backyard. They kind of equal now, but Northeast is a little bit got the edge because they're been around a little. They were popular when Backyard Band just started. So they got a lot of, in Danish they call it erfaring. They have a lot of experience, yeah, for real. But this Backyard Band. All right. And just to give you an example of where that kind of connects, let me see here. Just to give you an easy one to go to. You can hear a lot of Cuban music that connects with go-go music. Yeah, salsa, right? But this is calypso, right? And this is traditional real calypso. And you just hear it, and this is just spitting go-go music. Let me see how that is, the call and response and the congos and the guitar. This is American music. You know what I'm saying? And Eric B and Rakim hit different. Yeah. Gap Band was from here. Oh, Gap Band was from where you from? Hold on now. Jethro told, where you from, man? You from Cali? Is the Gap Band from Cali? Yeah, where y'all from, V? You need to check out Billy Strand. Okay. Well, my flight is almost ready to depart. Hey, I see you, Okay, where you headed to? Oh, Arctic Tundra. Damn. Yo, you got to take some pictures up there. Take a little video up there, man. If you hear me, take some video up there. For real. That would be wonderful to see. 100 likes. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Yeah, and good looking out. Friars, what's up, man? Friars says F Donald Trump. Okay, let me see. Norma, what's up with you? Say flight also to it. Let me see here. You in Tulsa? Okay, Tulsa. Oh, really? That's right. Gap Band is from Tulsa. Yeah, Gap Band. Well, you know something. Just the study of music, you will be educated a lot about Americans. Just the study of music, you will be educated about what American is. I'm not talking about what United States of Americans are, because we're connected to a lot of people. We influence each other, and with our culture, we borrow things from each other. So when you study the music, American music, you can also see the migration patterns. You can see the migration patterns, and that's very important for people to know. Because you should be able to, your politics should be based in the knowledge of the place you are, right? It should be based in that knowledge. So, on that note, music is a fun place to learn about American history, to learn about the American population, to learn about the migration and the interconnection of Americans, because it's not just static. You see what I mean? They crisscross each other at all times, to some degree, larger or less. You see what I mean? So we're inseparable from our neighbors and from others on the continent, North and South. We're inseparable. We can't really be taken away from them and be American any more than they can be taken away from us and be American. So it's important to know that as an American, but it's also important for others outside of the U.S. If they want to know what Americans are, it's important to have that understanding too, because we do share these things. We share them all, and we share many more things too. That's one thing that makes America great. It's very diverse. It is very, very diverse, and that's where its power comes from. But those that want to shit on that understanding of what makes it great are people that are, we need to stop them from destroying our country. And because you could see these people won't just destroy the U.S., they will destroy everything. They try to destroy NATO. They try, they will do. They don't even have a favorite. They'll destroy Iran or NATO. They don't give a fuck. They'll pick on Cuba. It's just equal opportunity. You know what I mean? So on that note, I'm out. Appreciate everybody. Have a good Sunday. My Sunday already started. It's 12:32. I'm about to go make lunch, and then I got to head to sleep. I've been up since yesterday, but I appreciate everybody once again for coming out. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next 18 hours. Stay alive, but celebrate. Don't, it's some wins coming. Yeah, the downfall of Trump should be celebrated, and everybody with him. You should feel love in your heart when you see them fall apart. You know what I'm saying? You should bask in their fall. You know what I'm saying? Like, relish in it. Celebrate. Go outside. Don't be shy about it. You know what I'm saying? Scream the wicked witch is dead. Share with your neighbor. Ask your neighbor to, hey, bring him a beer and say, here, that bitch Bondi is out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this has to be celebrated. People have gone through too much. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a big party when it's all over. Oh, God damn. People going to be in the streets. You know what I mean? Like, and the first thing we're going to do is make sure these motherfuckers never get close to power again. Like, seriously, this was bad enough to where that can never, ever, ever fucking happen again. Like, yeah. So, all right, I see you guys. Everybody be good. Have a pleasant rest of your Sunday. I appreciate y'all. One. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Say fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. FDT. 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 Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I traveled the globe just to gain perspective. The theory of relativity applied. Of course, it took a while to decide how I should proceed, but even my life is truly based upon need. So I move forward with more deliberate speed. Smash corny motherfuckers that stuck on greed. My seed is worth more than $1 million in future stock. The goal is to break the safe, the padlock. Mad cats can't stop it, eat a rocket. Your style is boring and cold, mine is tropic. Battles you want, come here, you'll change the topic. My partner said, get her, put your beat in the pocket. So this nigga here can proceed to destroy your stereotypical pop rap gangsta ploy. Not hating on niggas from the ghetto, but I'm hating on copycat rappers from the meadow. They procreate bullshit without paying a price. That's like talking about CeeLo with no dice. I drink milk, but that's about it. I won't compare Dairy MCs to dope shit. In this here place, we came to entertain and to educate your bum ass and your non-believers. You know we change your membrane every time you see us. The way we mingle with ease, the way we getting love from the finest ladies. Oh my son, oh there comes another one about to take it to the place that lies under the sun. Style witty, come from Chocolate City. Today I'm on the alright, let's go. Let's go. One more again. Let me hear you say ho. Say do that shit. Say do that shit. Say go V go 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 V go.
I know how to see a
Whack MC when they bussin', but I just walk away real cool. No fussin'.
I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums
and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds. Open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules.
There's many that claim
to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do.
So sit back and let me spit this shit to you.
It feels better when I spit this shit to you.
Despite the system trying to clamp down on the people, the people will learn how to stand up to evil.
CRP. It's too far. The lies in the globe and fighting.
It's not an option.
You can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin.
But then again they do.
See
ya. That's
ya.
a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, unless we make fat beats. Yo, we smoke weed, break up trees. So listen, bringing fat beats, that is our mission. You wanted to see us, homeboy, shut up and listen. Thelonious and Big Benny, brother, check the vision.
Mentalities of different realities.
Into the Star Trek room when you hear the boom. I be the Walkman with the super bass. Automatic stop, yes, stereo cassette player. With the delayer, freaky lyrical sprayer. Extraterrestrial rhyme sayer. I be the poetical VIC/master of the ceremony to the bony. Won't you come step with me? I'm on a historical journey. Kinda like Sigourney. Implore me to represent the attorney that represents my niggas, go figure. Here's the card, they call me Uncle Vigor. Niggas love your blunts, down your liquors. I read the parallel to the fiction. You're fixated on this brother's nature. Relax behavior, I might save your change. Flip it, rearrange. The whole concept, yo, is good for all your brain. Insane, psychotic, neurotic, black onyx, and hooked on phonics. Yes, atomic, it bleeds like a bonnet. Cut with the Asiatic, they all up on it. Rhyme static with the robotic type of skill. You wonder, is this nigga Vic really for real? It's still, but only necessary in the berry. I'm milk like dairy, they quite contrary. That's scary, but I'm a dog in the prairie. I scurry to grab my bones and just hurry. Lyrical flurry, go get your secretary with impeccable dictions. My style might vary. So get a hold of your own shit real fast. Fucking with us, we take it right out your ass. Every dog chill while the other dogs howl. Too many dogs get sent to the pound. Back on the hill, me and my peeps just lounge. Prairie dogs, we keep it on the down. Start out, don't like none splatter. We try to climb a ladder, wicked men get better. They make it like splatter, but it really don't matter. Cause you know we coming back to our sons and our daughters. So Father, Him the one who protects ya, and the mother, she will never neglect ya. Through divine nature, the people respect ya, and in this way I deliver my lecture. I know how to see a whack MC when he bustin', but I just back away real cool, no fussin'. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds. Open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do, so sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you, despite the system trying to clamp down on the people. People will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far, but evil that lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin, but then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, and plus we make fat beats. Yo, we smoke weed, break up trees. Listen, bringing fat beats, that is our mission. You wanted to see us, homeboy, shut up and listen. Thelonious and Big Bennett, brother, check the vision. Mentalities of different realities. Enter the Star Trek room when you hear the boom. I be the Walkman with the super bass. Automatic stop, yes, stereo cassette player. With the delayer, freaky lyrical sprayer. Extraterrestrial rhyme sayer. I be the poetical VIC/master of the ceremony. Tenderoni, won't you come step with me? I'm on a historical journey, kinda like Sigourney. Implore me to represent the attorney that represents my niggas, go figure. It's the card, they call me Uncle Bigger. Niggas love your blunts, down your liquors. I read the parallel to the fiction. You're fixated on this brother's nature. Relaxed behavior, I might save your change. Flip it, rearrange the whole concept. Yo, it's good for all your brain. Insane, psychotic, neurotic, black onyx, and hooked on phonics, just atomic. Bees like a bonnet, cut with the Asiatic, they all up on it. Rhyme static with the bombastic type of skill. You wonder, is this nigga Vic really for real? It's still, but only necessary in the berry. I'm milk like dairy, they quite contrary. That's scary, but I'm a dog in the prairie. I scurry to grab my bones and just bury. Lyrical flurry, go get your secretary with impeccable dictions. My style might vary, so get a hold of your own shit real fast. Fucking with us, we take it right out your ass. Prairie dogs chill while the other dogs howl. Too many dogs get sent to the pound. Back on the hill, me and my peeps just lounge. Prairie dogs, we keep it on the down. Splatter, don't like gun splatter. We try to climb the ladder, wicked men get better. They make it like splatter, but it really don't matter. Cause you know we coming back to our sons and our daughters. So Father, Him the one who protects ya, and the mother, she will never neglect ya. Through divine nature, the people respect ya, and in this way I deliver my lecture. nothing can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style or pimped out style. You don't understand the logic. See, if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you, it's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed. So just relax, just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Your entertainment at the same time, edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hear the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills, cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax. And hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. My mind state, now balloon, it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this much wiser kid, fuck the shake. And take it to a lower level, and dig a ditch for the devil. Got some more kids and pass the shovel. Dig a hole, take them on a spiritual roll. Lyrics unfold, either that or unroll the scroll. Episodes keep reoccurring and stifling. People's vision get blurring, their hearts start murmuring. I'm about 5 times iller than a Sherman. Introspection is God's gift to the miracle. I freak material, lamb's milk without the cereal. When MCs say your booty, they mean venereal. Your fake material hip-hop killers, they more faking than fucking Michael Jackson and Thriller. The status of a hoe, Quanto Costa. They wanna know how much it costs, kid. I bet for keep to me just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you could wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you could wear your hat. Just relax.